What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to episode 15 of season 2 of Hit the Books. We got a great lineup this week, the usual NFL rundown of all the games this week, week 13. With that, we also want to touch on some NHL, a wild game last night that we definitely want to chat about. Little NBA and some news in the sports gambling community. It's a good Wednesday to be recording, so let's jump in and introduce the crew, Huff, Ace, and Mackie. Huff, start us off. Big win for the Steelers this week. Kenny looking good. What do you got for me?
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. Steelers getting a big win in primetime football, despite it being against a struggling Colts team. Like I said, there was a pesky Colts team with an interim coach coming into this week. Pickett able to get the job done, get his second win on the year, first game-winning drive. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from him, but as far as myself, pretty good weekend on the card too, 7-0, 9 units. On fire lately, had an unreal Thanksgiving Day with a couple of touchdown props that I ended up taking. Some pretty crazy ones, fourth touchdown, first touchdown, just had an absolute day. Great weekend overall. I know we're all positive and in the green this weekend, so that's a first. Little round of applause to us, pat ourselves on the back for that one. That's something that we've been looking for all season that we haven't been able to get, so that was something that I was definitely happy going into this week. But yeah, great week. Definitely my best of the season so far. I've been dug myself that hole to start this season, and I've been fighting and clawing back all season. Finally back above positive, finally back above water and can breathe. Now we'll see what I can do the rest of the season. But as Kobe Bryant once said, the job's not finished.
Love that, love that. We will get to everyone's records here shortly. A great week in the NFL across the board for the boys here. Ace, let's go to you next. Pat's not able to do it on Thanksgiving last week, but big Thursday night game again this week. What do you think, buddy?
Just two big back-to-back games for the Patriots, right? Really getting hosed over by the refs on that Hunter Henry catch. I know Mackie disagrees with me, but the rest of New England agrees with me, so that's all that matters. I'd like to shout out Huff for that Kobe Bryant quote right there. It was pretty tough. Other than that, though, the Boston Bruins continue to be the best team in the league. They refuse to lose at home, which is kind of insane. We still don't card that every game, which is nuts to me. But, yeah, other than that, great Thanksgiving. Hope everybody, all of our listeners have one too. Looking forward to another great week. Like Huff said, positive week all around for the boys, which is nice to see. We've really been picking up the second half of the season. So, got a lot of cards rolling. Make sure you're following all the socials. Max's been crushing it in college basketball. Been killing it with the NHL and the NBA. And NCAA is heating up with both football and basketball, like I mentioned earlier. But, yeah, definitely excited to talk another week here and get it rolling with the boys.
Yeah, championship Saturday this weekend for college football, so definitely going to want to look out for that card. I forgot about that.
Yes.
It's a good thing you said that.
It's a big weekend this weekend. Lots of stuff going on. Good stuff from you, Ace. Happy to hear it. Mackie, let's go to you. Your Cowboys were able to do it on Thanksgiving last week. What else you got for me, man?
Yeah, Cowboys looked good last week. Should have covered minus 10 points. Obviously, you saw the backdoor cover by Daniel Jones, able to cover the 10 points, ended up losing by 8. But yeah, Cowboys look good overall. We've been killing it in the NFL lately. Definitely the first time we've all been positive during over a week span. So stick with us. Stick with our football picks. We're doing really well. Yeah, as the college football season ends, the college basketball card's definitely gonna be picked up a little. So look out for picks from college basketball. We're definitely gonna want to pick that slate up a little more and get some plays out to you guys every single night. Other than that, yeah, just another week talking sports.
You said it, Mackie. Another week talking sports. With that, let's jump into our records from last week, week 12. Terrific week across the board for everybody on this podcast here. Huff leading the pack, going 7-0 plus 9 whole units. A huge momentum boost, morale boost for him on his card. Unreal. Mackie in second, going 6-4-1 plus 4.68 units. Another huge swing there. Unreal. Myself going 6-3 plus 2.86 units. And Ace right behind me going 8-8 plus 1.18 units. All positive, all good. No complaints from me. What do you boys got for that on the Week 12 records?
Pause for Huff. Perfect week, up 9 units. Finally positive after that, no offense, but brutal 0-14 start to the season. So, we just watched him claw his way back, and it's finally paying off for the kid.
Yeah.
From fade to tail, ASAP.
Yeah, things turned around pretty quick. Obviously, around like week 4 or 5. I don't think I hit one until week 3. So, obviously, being coming to the end of week 12, able to find myself. I don't know my exact record, but I think it's like 44 somewhere around there. I'm a couple games above 500 now. So, just sticking to my guns. That first half under was huge for my comeback. And obviously, anytime you go 7-0, 2 huge touchdown props on Sunday Night Football. Miles Sanders, Ace, you had that one with me. And then Christian Watson plus 290 to end the night. Mackie, you had that one with me. Just 2 unreal prop hits to end the week. Obviously, like I was telling Jesse, I was 6-0 plus 6.1, and then that 7th one was for 2.9 units. That's what really was the huge jump. So, shout out to Christian Watson and Miles Sanders for bringing home the bread.
Icing on the cake.
Huff, I'm disappointed in you not going with your boys to get you to 10-0 though. You could have got a nice value with the Yinzers hometown.
I know.
But,
I know.
It was
It
nice to
would've
see.
looked like
it was
a
nice to
push.
see the other boys.
Especially if they
It's nice to
lost,
see the
it would
other
have
boys
looked like
push.
such a push. Like you being a Steelers fan, taking Steelers money line,
Oh yeah.
and,
As the last play of the week.
and then you just
Oh.
end up going 7-1.
It's the fact that
That's great to
it's
see.
the fact that I'm positive 1.98 now, but it's the fact that just the crazy week, and like Mackie, like we said, like +9, +10. It's just, insane week anyway. So I just wanted to put it to an end. Obviously, had some stuff off the card. I did take them off the card, so that was nice. But as far as yeah, but I know what you mean. But I'm never gonna complain about 7-0. So let's keep things rolling into this week. It's obviously gonna be tough to top that, but I like some plays this week, so we're gonna have to see what I can do. What we all can do. We had a hot week. Let's continue with that.
For myself, I got to quote one of our favorite memes, I believe it is. I ain't gonna lie, they had us in the first half. So I'd like to see my second half stat line. Maybe I'll have to break that out this week and get it out to the people. Been doing a lot better last few weeks. A couple positive weeks in a row, really hitting on some big 2-unit plays. I think one thing that's been hot for me is that Raiders train. They've finally been paying out. High on them early in the year, and they're getting these nice money lines. Taking some alternate spreads, too, which I don't know if a lot of people have noticed. Kind of a cool thing to take if you're taking that dog money line. Why not take a -2.5 for some good value? It's definitely an interesting play to look at. It's been working out for me, so I'm gonna stick with that trend. But yeah, Huff, king of the castle this week. Love to see it. Love to see the whole squad eating. So definitely excited for this week.
Lots of good stuff out of the NFL, boys. Let's keep it rolling. Let's jump over to some other headlines across the other leagues and in the sports gambling world. Let's start off with the NBA. Lakers blowing a huge fourth quarter lead the other night to suffer another loss against the Pacers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, against the Pacers. Not a good sight for them. They just haven't been on their usual horse like we're used to. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, right when the Lakers started to look like they were coming back, started the season 2-10, they stood down 7-11 before that game last night, and yeah, they looked like they were playing some good basketball. They starting to come together, and then you're up 17, 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and you end up blowing that lead. Obviously, it's pretty detrimental to a team that's already been down in the dumps, and they're just trying to get out of there. But that's just not the direction that they wanted to go in, and they got to crawl their way back from that now too. So they have a lot of adversity to deal with this year, but I don't know. I think they can figure it out. At least get into the play-in tournament. Maybe find a way to squeak into a playoff spot. They're definitely not contenders this year. I don't think they just didn't do a well enough job, kind of building around LeBron and AD, and Russ just isn't performing. So I don't think they have the potential to actually go anywhere this year, but they could definitely squeak into a playoff spot.
Yeah, Mac, I definitely agree with you. That team will be there at the end of the year in some way or another, and who knows when you get into any type of tournament what noise you can make. But that Western Conference is definitely something interesting to look at with not much dividing these teams. The Celtics running away with it in the East a little bit, but in the West there's still a lot of teams all bunched up, very similar records, so you can't really count anybody out yet. Still early season basketball. In the East, you got the Celtics 17-4. That's kind of crazy. I think I saw a stat. It's like, we'll get to this later more with the Bruins, but at the TD Garden, the Celtics and Bruins combined are like 23-1 at home. So just something that's a wagon to look out
That's
for.
disgusting.
Yeah, you got to tail things like that. I mean, I say it all the time. I'll beat a dead horse, but bet with the streak. That way you don't miss it. So yeah, other than that, like we alluded to the Pacers earlier. Honestly, we've actually been close to carding them, and the Hawks have been two of the teams we've really liked a lot recently. They both
I'm big
have
on this
solid
Pacers
records.
team.
Which one?
I'm big on this Pacers team. I had them the other night +2 against the Lakers in that game. I really think they're a good young team, especially in this Eastern Conference. That's a very top-heavy Eastern Conference, and a lot of these other teams are kind of just in the middle of the pack, going to be fighting for playoff spots maybe towards the end of this season. This Pacer team, if they keep picking up wins like this, obviously this is a struggling Lakers team, like you guys said. LeBron, AD's doing his job, but LeBron and Westbrook continue to struggle kind of, obviously on different levels, with LeBron still getting somewhat of the job done. But the team overall, like Mackie, like you said, it's just a team that you're not going to be seeing. You're not going to be watching this team play late in May, early June, come the late in the NBA playoffs or finals. This isn't a team that I see contending. And I mean, anytime you have LeBron on a team, I feel like he could just go and walk in the front office and say, trade for Kyrie Irving, trade for whoever, you know what I mean? And they'll be there within a week. But it's always tough to say. But LeBron, I think, like you said, this team will figure it out. I mean, they're 7-11. They have a tough game against a interesting Portland team, in my opinion, too, with Anthony Simons. Mackie, I know we kind of dogged him all summer after he got that huge contract, and he's been a stud.
Shooter.
Mackie, what do you? I mean,
Dame's back out though. Dame's out definitely, I think.
yeah, he's not playing right now.
So that just takes. I mean, that team had a hot start. I think that takes away from them a lot, though. Obviously, one of the better players in the league. Not, and then obviously the whole entire face of that franchise.
Yeah.
Mackey's alluded to this point week in and week out, but really with the NBA, you have to check the daily lineups if you're going to be taking anything.
These guys
Yeah,
rest way
it's
too
just
fucking much.
It's unbelievable. The
Load management.
The amount that these players sit out. Like, what a fake
For the amount
league.
they get paid.
What a fake league.
Sick league. Nah, we love the NBA though. Our card's been rolling. It just heats up more towards the end of the season when it's more competitive. But that's why it's nice to get some of these early lines, because those teams that start hot out the gate are pretty much a wagon to jump on. So we've been really cashing out.
Teams two teams I've been really liking this year, and I know we've taken them a couple of times, is Atlanta and Indiana. Those are the two teams that I've had my eye on. I think there's a lot of value in both of those teams going into a lot of games, just because they're two really young teams that have the ability to score. I've watched a lot of Hawks games, and Trae Young has not had his best season so far, I don't think, but definitely playing at an elite level. I think he's still a very good player in this league.
That's a deep roster too.
Yeah. And like that team, they have what's his name, DeAndre Hunter. That team, just the bench is full of just young college players. And I mean, not college players, guys that were at elite blue blood college programs 2-3 years ago. These guys are all with the same, within the same 2-3 year draft year. They're all kind of meshing as a team together. I think Atlanta's a team that's going to be. They're about a piece, or I know 2 pieces is a lot to say in the NBA because there's 5 guys in the starting lineup, and that's technically like 2/5 of your starting lineup. But if the Hawks can get Trae Young, a legitimate big man, this Hawks team is going to be scary.
I mean, DeJounte Murray's going off too. He's guy's having a sick year. That was such a good ad for that
Yeah.
team.
Great ad.
That 1-2 shot that they had with Trae Young and DeJounte Murray. I mean,
Besides
it's working out
the
for
Hawks,
them.
besides the Hawks, 2 teams I really like out east. I think I said this on last week's pod, and they've been picking up a little bit. Is the Nets getting Kyrie Irving back and Ben Simmons playing basketball, so you can really start to look at them a bit more. And I think one of the best teams in the NBA is the Philadelphia 76ers, and they're starting to show their true colors. So I think those are 2 more we'll have to start looking at, along with the Celtics and the 2 Huff mentioned earlier.
Joel Embiid battling an injury though. I mean, these guys just. I mean, he's one that does play usually 80 games in a season, so I don't really want to say it about him. But yeah, he's definitely bad. He just played his first game after like 5 games out, I think. So I don't know. You just got to check the lineups. But yeah, the NBA is a sport where you're like the best teams, top 2 teams. There's always 1 or 2 teams that win like 60 to 65 games in a year. And right now it seems like it's going to be the Celtics and the Bucks. And they win games by. I don't really think the Suns are.
Suns will be like a level behind them with like 5 to 10 less wins.
The Bucks and the Celtics both have more wins already, and I think they're both better than the Suns as well. But
is Middleton back for the
teams...
Bucks yet?
What?
Is Chris Middleton back?
I haven't seen him play yet. I know that Mackie, just to give you a stat check real quick though, the Suns do have a better record than the Bucks.
No, they don't. Suns are 14-6. Bucks are 14-5.
Oh, you're right. I thought they were both 14-6.
Still, that's
whatever. It's like basically the
Close
same
enough.
record
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
But like,
But
I just think the Bucks are way
East-
better than the
go ahead.
Suns. Suns are good. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think they're contenders to win it.
I just think the East is
Championship.
a lot stronger than the West this year.
It's more
It is.
top heavy. I wouldn't say it's stronger head to toe. It's definitely more top heavy.
You don't think so?
It's really close. I mean, there are better. Like the Cavs and the Pacers are playing really good basketball right now, so they're upping the East right now. But if you think about it, Cavs aren't really contenders either, and the Pacers
the
definitely.
Cavs are a team I was.
There's more teams out
Early
out of the West that I think could end up in the finals.
If there was a bet out there, I don't even know if there is. If you could take someone now, either East or West, to win the finals, that would be a crazy bet to look at. But I'd definitely go with the East. You have teams banged up like the Heat too.
You can
I'd go with the East just because of the Bucks and the Celtics. I think both of those teams.
You
just
can-
absolute
you can
power.
definitely
Dude,
bet
Bucks,
that.
Celtics,
Celtics are insane right
Sixers, Nets, Heat,
Sixers
those
are-
are all valid teams.
now. Sixers aren't coming in. They're not winning anything. I don't think they ever will.
Yeah, I agree with that. But they're right there. They have the roster too. It's just that organization can't figure it out.
Their chance was the year that Kawhi hit the buzzer beater in Game
Okay.
7.
What a shot!
That
by the
was
best,
that was probably their
action
only
shot
chance.
of all time. But yeah, that's all I got on the NBA this week.
Great stuff out of the NBA. Be sure to tune in for any picks that we have on that on our Instagram and Twitter. With that, let's jump over to what's going on in the sports gambling community. Sports betting is now legal in Maryland through all the major sports books. So big props there. Good job, Maryland. Next up, the American Gaming Association is estimating that 20.5 million Americans plan to bet on the World Cup, driving what they will think to be $1.8 billion in total bets. Ace, what do you think about that one?
I just think a lot of that is driven by Team USA, and Huff and Mackey were showing their anti-American colors the other day, trying to take Iran against me, and then I think 94%
I didn't take Iran.
of the
I took
money
the
was
tie.
on 94% of the money.
Let me
was on
let me
Team
just say
USA.
real quick. Let me say real quick. In the 7th minute, I drew double my money on fucking USA because I knew that they weren't gonna.
They
lose
came
that
out
game.
hot too.
So yeah,
They came
dude,
out
I
hot.
saw. I was like, "There's no way they lose this game." So I quickly switched that around, and I knew it wasn't gonna tie. So I know
What
I
a
wasn't gonna
crazy
get
line,
fucked
though.
there. What?
I think Vegas kind of played themselves there because you know that Americans are going to throw so much money on that team, and
But
that's
dude,
such a
this-
generous line.
This U.S. team is playing so much better than I think that they are, and nobody expected them to be this good. I mean, they're playing like one of the best teams.
They have a tough matchup now with the Netherlands, but
Better than
Pulisic
England.
is going to be. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Netherlands is. You need Pulisic back, and you need him at full health too. So that'll be interesting to monitor. But
Definitely.
it's been
I
fun to
don't-
watch, and I'm happy that we clinched.
Yeah, that was a good game. That was cool. It's fun to watch.
Cashed out heavy on it too.
Yeah, lots of good stuff out of the World Cup. Not a lot of good stuff from us, but, it's a fun thing to watch, but I don't like soccer. I'm sick of it now. The next thing I got is that the U.S. commercial casino industry had its best quarter ever, winning over $15 billion from gamblers in the third quarter of this year. I've read that it's just been like an increasing number. Just every quarter just gets more and more aggressive. It's kind of wild. And back to the NFL, opening weekend was for the records as well. GeoComply, who compiles info from top online sportsbooks, said it processed 103.1 million logins in week 1 of the NFL. With that, New York led the pack with 15.7 million logins, PA behind them with 15.3 million, New Jersey in third with 13.5 million. That's a 72% increase from last year before sports betting was legal in New York, Louisiana, Connecticut, and Arkansas. It's a pretty interesting one there. What do you think, Ace?
No, I was just saying that's some crazy numbers.
It's wild, isn't it?
Yeah, you love to see it.
Yeah. Let's jump over to the NHL. Let's just get this out of the way. Bruins are 13-0 on home ice. They're doing very well, Ace. You want to get your little skedaddle out of the way?
13-0-0 this season to start on their home ice. 20-0 in their last 20 games on home ice. Just a crazy thing to monitor. I know Huff and I were going back and forth a little bit last night. We come up with some really good NHL picks. You guys have probably seen our card that are listening. But we actually take a good amount of time each day debating it, looking at the schedule, the matchups, everything.
We get in some
into it.
heated conversations over this shit.
Yeah, but that's
people
the
think
way
we're
you gotta
just
do it.
forcing plays. No, I know. I'm
Yeah, we
saying
don't-
people think it's.
Yeah, it's not forced. Like I think we again beating a dead horse. You have to look into these things. NHL and NBA, so many games each week. You have to look into important things. That's what determines the outcome. Who's starting in net? Where's the game being played? Is it a back-to-back? Whatnot. All of that stuff really goes into it. Then the line itself is another thing that we like to toy with, obviously, with this podcast. But yeah, the Boston Bruins playing the best hockey I've seen in my lifetime. I said it before the season started on the podcast, and Mackie was kind of dogging me that this is the most talented Bruins team we've ever seen. And it's true. When Taylor Hall's on your third line, I mean, not much is going wrong. We're firing on all cylinders and finally at a full roster. So just great to see. It's that coaching change. We talked about a lot last week, but definitely everybody should be riding that streak while you can, especially at home. Why wouldn't you? You're getting good lines, too. They're beating good teams. I know they have a tough stretch coming up. They just played Tampa Bay, Carolina, and Florida. Now they get Colorado, and Vegas. So that'll be interesting to see. Maybe get some good lines on a really good team again. So definitely be on the lookout for our picks there. Jesse, what other teams do we have on this week's episode to talk about?
So last night, being Tuesday night, the Kraken and the Kings game, 9-8 score in OT. Just a wild game. Our group chat here was just going off. I mean, you guys were talking about betting the over-under of 13.5. I know Ace. I think Ace did. Like, holy shit. Like, what do you? I don't even. I don't know. I don't even have words for that.
It's a football score. I think a good way to put it last night is there was more points scored than Russell Wilson and the Broncos can put up on any given Sunday. So it was definitely a fun one to watch. I think as Mackie and I were talking about it, we were like, holy shit, it's 4-4. Next minute, 5-4. Next minute, 6-5. We're like, geez, the goals keep flying. And I hope Mackie rode with me. I don't know if he did, but I took 13.5 and 14.5 when the game was at like 12 or 10. And they just kept piling in. They couldn't stop a puck last night. I think Pedersen
was
5.
awful. Like straight
and
up
Quick
shots,
let him 5.
Straight up shots that I like genuinely think I would be able to make a save on. Like he was literally letting in. It was just shots from the top of the circle. Like, he was seeing clean. I don't know. It was just
shout out my boy Matty Beniers though, rookie of the year right there. I think he's gonna end the year with that one. He's been hot lately, so he was really eating last night. Those West Coast teams have a lot of talent, but no back end studs or net minding. So that was definitely a good one. Great hit for us last night to keep the card at 500. Yeah, the Oilers the other night. I think Jesse, we wanted to talk about that one too now.
Yeah, we also capitalized on the Oilers. Yeah, honestly, we picked the right one in that Kraken Kings game. After a while, I was like, I don't even know. Who knows what's going to happen? One team's just going to skyrocket off.
But plus odds too. You love to see it.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. But with last night, we did not hit on Avs going 1-1 last night. But before that, on Monday, Edmonton versus Florida, we hit on that one, -110. A solid hit there to start the week off.
Yeah, that was a great game. I don't know if anybody tuned into that one. Huff, did you see that one?
No.
No, that was it was a good matchup. I think it was Florida Edmonton, I believe, and it went down to the wire. It was 1-1 going into the third, and then with 4.9 seconds left off the face-off, the Oilers tie it up. And then in overtime at home, McDavid to Draisaitl to win it.
I saw the highlight on NHL Network. I'm always laying in bed watching NHL Network at night, so I see all those fire goals whenever, obviously, that OT winner. And we were texting about it. Draisaitl, was it Draisaitl to McDavid or vice versa?
McDavid to Draisaitl.
Yeah. Dude, they're disgusting. So
they're crazy.
I think it's just Mackie and I up at those crazy hours of the night watching the West Coast games.
Yeah, always.
I mean, that's where you can make some good live bets though. Like really, if I'm being honest with you. But no, great games to watch. I love watching the West Coast teams in the NHL. High flying offenses usually. So, yeah, we've been cashing in on the West Coast a lot. Vegas, and those California teams, and the Kraken, who Huff kind of put us onto them earlier in the year, I believe. And we've kind of been riding them a bit more. They're one of the top teams in the league right now.
They're rolling.
I don't know why they still scare the crap out of me.
I swear they're like underdogs like every game. It's crazy.
I think they are.
Right. It's crazy. I think, Jesse, you were talking about that loss with the Avalanche last night. One thing I wanted to call out is I think we're going to stay away, and I'd advise our bettors too. If you see Connor Hellebuck in net, one of the best goaltenders in the NHL over the last few
On
years,
his home
honestly.
ice.
Yeah, on his home ice. He had that 40 save shutout against the best team in the NHL. I mean, everybody. You ask any random Joe on the street who's the best team in the NHL, it's Colorado Avalanche. You shut him out on 40 shots, it's a pretty good night. So I would say stay away there. Maybe look into them a little bit actually, but that's a tough team to bet against.
Yeah, we missed that one.
Yeah, we did, sadly. I think we even talked about it too here on the pod. Just like stay on, like Ace said, stay on those good teams, and the Avs were one of those good teams coming into this season. So interesting stuff there. With some sadder news, Chris Letang of the Penguins suffered his second stroke on Monday. The Penguins front office announced this Wednesday morning he is out indefinitely. Very sad news here for the city of Pittsburgh. Big player here in the NHL. Not ever good to hear something like that.
Yeah, and I'm not going to lie. I saw that he wasn't playing last night, and I was pretty surprised. And anytime you hear something like this, I don't know exactly how old he is. He's probably like 33, 32, somewhere in there.
I thought he was 35.
Is he?
He might be up there.
34,
Isn't
35.
this his second stroke?
Yeah, he had one back in
second stroke 8
2014.
years.
And he said
So-
he expects to play again.
Yeah. Are these just like things that happen?
They said
to
he
him that
doesn't. They said he's not experiencing any of the minor or any of the major long-term effects that are caused by a stroke.
Yeah, I did see that. Obviously no he still
I mean,
has
dude,
full
he's
control of everything in his
Dude,
body.
like, so
Athletes.
here's my thing. Like, I know a stroke's a stroke, but like, this dude's in peak athletic human shape. Like,
it could just
you're
be
telling
a
me
blood
that
clot.
shit. Yeah, like,
It's exactly
I feel
probably
like
what it is.
like those dudes are in such good shape. I feel like that shit affects them differently than it would like me or like one of us. That's like, I mean, we're all like, we're not, you know what I mean, just idiots that just sit around all day and do nothing. But like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's gonna be
do you
hard.
think that actually comes into play when you're talking about
I don't
stroke?
know.
Like,
I think it does, but like you. But like obviously Letang's just like some hereditary shit or like he has some disease.
Definitely wish the best for him. Whole pod well wishes to Chris Letang. Such an integral piece of that team and the dynasty they built. They gave him that big deal in the offseason too, so we're really hoping to see him back on the ice in Pittsburgh soon.
Yeah, I was literally just saying the other day that the Penguins should start looking for maybe a defensive piece to bring in at the deadline to play with him, since Dumoulin hasn't really been up to my standards or the standards that I'd like him to be playing at.
He should be playing
and
so much
obviously
better.
you get this news, and obviously it's bigger than hockey. I mean, second stroke in how many years we said, that's crazy for someone his age. We just talked about that, but yeah, it's best of luck to him. Obviously, I mean, I think speak for everyone here, but crazy to hear something like that. And I was most shocked to hear his second one, but I guess it's probably not that uncommon to have a second one if you have a first one at 30, or he was like before he was 30. So, I mean, I'm not a doctor, so I'm kind of just talking out of my ass, but definitely want to get him back on the ice. But if it's this season, that'd be crazy, but hopefully so. Like Ace said, we gave him the big deal. Definitely want to see him back on the ice, but just hope he gets back to well, because I've had some of my most favorite Pittsburgh athletes ripped away from me by injury. Ryan Shazier, number one. Now, obviously, Letang, I just hope he's able to get back on the ice, and this isn't the way that he goes out. So, yeah, best of luck to him.
Some interesting stuff here out of the NHL. Keep an eye on our card. We always got plays coming out. Always good stuff there. The card is looking good as of late. So let's move forward. Let's jump into the NFL. OBJ is on the lookout for a new team. What do we got here? The Bills, Giants, Cowboys, a little bit of Chiefs, the Ravens. What do we think? Where do we think he might end up?
You guys see you see the podcast with Von Miller?
Oh, I heard
What'd he
about
say?
that.
Yeah, well, you guys see Von Miller. He has his show, and
Yeah.
he has a lot of good people on. He was like, he's coming on down here, I guess. I don't think he's leaving.
I don't know.
I think his two main destinations should either be Dallas or Buffalo. Because
I wouldn't go to Buffalo.
But he doesn't have to be a big guy up in Buffalo. Obviously, I mean, you could be like that third option that obviously can still play the game at an elite level, and he still has some of the best hands in the league, I bet. But he's not who he was like 7 years ago. So, I mean, I don't. 7 years might even be too long. I don't even know, but he's not who he used to be, and so I think he can go to Dallas and be a check down guy who can get a few yards after carry and shit like that. Or same thing in Buffalo, who Josh Allen can just find so he doesn't have to run the ball as often or something. But I just don't think any other destination. I mean, what are you gonna do? Go to New York and play with Daniel Jones? Like I don't know. I just think those are his two most logical destinations.
I understand your theory. I'm surprised that the Buffalo Bills are even in on him. I thought they liked what they have in that mix of that wide receiver room.
I didn't even think that they were going to be in the question, to be honest. I was just like,
I think it's the
I like
idea
Isaiah
of,
McKenzie.
I think it's the idea of going all in. Everyone's trying to do what the Rams did last year. They think that's like the proven winning like formula. Like the Rams figured it out. They're like, oh, just trade for a big name, sign a big receiver at the deadline. Boom, you're gonna win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, especially with Von Miller, he literally did that exactly, didn't he? He just jumped ship. Like he joined the Rams. I think it was a trade though, and now he went and bag chased essentially, but he joined the super team contender. Now he's gonna get his boy to do the same. He's like, hey, we just won there and did it. Let's replicate that here. But at the same time,
Exactly.
I personally would go to Dallas. The market for him, knowing who he is, he'd get treated perfectly by Jones and co. And I think that's just the best fit overall. Dak Prescott, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, in my opinion. Top 10, I'd say, maybe 8. We had this conversation last week, but with the CeeDee Lamb and Gallup as your 3, and then you put Odell at your 2 spot, I would go there with Baltimore. That's where I would go.
I might be biased, but I think he's starting to make a case for like top 5 right now, at least. I mean, the way he's playing.
Off the top of your head, name your top quarterback.
I'm one that has always said Dak sits around like 8 to 10, but dude, the way he's playing this year, I mean, he's put up 40 points against the Vikings. He's sitting at. That offense is definitely one of the best. I think they average the most points per game since he's been back in the league. Or what is it? Week 6 he came back or something like that. So I mean, he's putting up the numbers. I don't. Top 5 off my head. You got to go. Mahomes, Allen.
Burrow.
Yeah, Burrow. Jalen
Lamar.
Hurts. Okay.
I'm taking Dak over Lamar right now.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I didn't like. I could be biased, but right now, yeah, why not?
Right now, like this week, yeah. I mean, I think you have to over the past couple weeks.
Switch Lamar and Dak spots though.
I am taking Jalen Hurts over Dak right now, though, 100%.
I'm not sold.
Dude, have you been watching them?
You're sold on Fields, but you're not sold on just Jalen Hurts.
No, but I'm not saying. All right, that's a different conversation. I'm sold on.
We're
Fields
not
having a
talking. We're not
future in
talking
the
about Fields being a top 5 guy. So I guess I understand what you're saying. I know what you're saying, but
I'd put Hurts in that 8 to 10 conversation like I do with Preston.
I just had that question seemed that when I asked that, it seemed so aggressive. I was just like, this is coming from the same dude that backs up Justin Fields to the grave.
I'm saying Justin
like
Fields
Jalen
is a
Hurts
starter in the NFL with potential. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Mac, you're saying should
now I
kicked
got
to the
what you
curb.
mean.
Okay, I said at the beginning of the season he deserves a starting spot.
Yeah,
Mac, you thought he shouldn't even be a backup in the league.
Well, coming into the season, yeah, like his resume up until the season, yeah, he shouldn't even have been.
Did you see that tweet I sent in our group chat the other day?
His legs get him into the starting spot.
I actually think before this season, when we were looking ahead at the schedule, I actually think I said Trey Lance, Justin Fields, week 1 is going to be a good matchup, and that turned out to be it was just a rain show dud game.
He gave us the best
Justin
picture
Fields,
of the year.
Yeah, I used that in one of the TikToks.
Yep, that's the coolest one, I think. No, but Fields potential for sure. But yeah, Odell will be fun to watch. I mean, it's crazy how long he's letting the sweepstakes go on. Is he even healthy yet?
I think he's dragging it out just as long as possible.
Yeah, he just wants to be in the media. He likes being courted by the teams.
Yeah.
Playing, not so much.
Yeah, like, do you want to play in week 13? Like, all he's doing is waiting and seeing who's getting a bye, I think.
Yeah.
And I think he should. I didn't even say where I think. I think he should go to Dallas because I think Dallas has not an easy shot, but an easier shot at the Super Bowl than the Bills.
The NFC South.
Dallas is going to play Tom Brady in the Bucs first round, so.
Also, do you want to play?
How easy of a game really is that?
Would you rather play in AT&T Stadium or would you rather play in the snow in Buffalo?
Yeah.
Agree with that.
Tough call.
Okay, but Dallas is lined up to play Bucs in the first round. Who do you think's going to win that game? Tom Brady?
There's so much that's going to go into all of that, though. Like, we'll see down the stretch. Maybe the Dallas Cowboys tank a few games so they don't.
They should.
The
man.
Bucks. Yeah. No,
Or they
it's
can-
that's weird. We'll
or they
talk
can
about that
find a
when we
way
get
to
to
win
these
this game.
games, but the
They try
NFC
to-
South is strange.
Alrighty. With that, let's jump into our normal NFL slate. Lots of good stuff here out of Week 13. Let's kick it off. Thursday night football, the Buffalo Bills at the New England Patriots. The favorite here is the Bills, only at a -4. Their money line at -188, and the over-under sitting at 43.5. Going to be a big game here, Ace. The trends I got are some trends for the primetime. Jesus. I got some trends here for the primetime under. The under is 5-1 in Buffalo's last 6 games against the AFC, and 6-0 in the last 6 games. 7-2 in the last 9 games overall. So lots favoring the under for this Bills team. The Patriots are 9-2 straight up in their last 11 Thursday home games, as well as 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 games at home. So do we like the Patriots in Gillette Stadium this week? Ace, why don't you kick us off, your Patriots, on Thursday night?
Yeah, this is going to be a great matchup. I think Mackey texted it last week after after all the games took place. He's like, "Oof, big game this weekend." I'm like, "Oh yeah," and I'm ready for it. Bill Belichick is too, and the Patriots are ready to roll as well. They looked really good on Thursday Night Football last week. Against the Vikings. They played their best football of the year, I think. The defense didn't show up, which is surprising considering they've been the driving force of the whole season. But Mac Jones really stepped up, and it's nice to see. I think if they can put that offense together, again, keep it rolling, and the defense steps up like they always do at home, they've been lights out in Gillette, then they really have a good shot at winning. The Patriots, at least their offense is trending up. And the Bills have been playing weird football lately. I don't know if Josh Allen's banged up or whatnot. I know Von Miller's out of the game. A few other injuries on their side. So I do like the Patriots money line here. It's gonna be a good one, I think. Huff's first half under. I know last week the Patriots and Vikings kind of popped off to start the game. Weird matchup. But I think these two teams play close to the vest, and I'm really gonna love that first half under that Huff's been riding all year long. Mackie, where do you stand on this Bills-Pats divisional tilt?
Yeah, I'm definitely up in the air in this game. You're right. The Bills have been not who we've expected them to be these past few weeks. Josh Allen's making mistakes left and right. He's been throwing interceptions like it's his job. I don't know. I mean, because Patriots got to win this one at home. They're 6-5. You're sitting right outside of a wild card spot right now. None of those teams look like they're moving right now. The Jets are playing good football. Mike White's looking like unbelievable after last week. We'll get into that. But Joe Burrow's playing good football. The Chargers are right on their ass as well. Patriots can't be giving up these games, especially at home. It's a divisional game. You got to win one. You got to win the game at home. And I think they get it done in this situation. I think Mac Jones coming off. What did he throw? 380 passing yards last week. He looked good.
Career game.
Yeah, he looked unbelievable. He's got all the confidence in the world. Patriots need this win, and I think they can get it in a primetime situation.
Great value on that line too. I think they're at like plus 155 at plus 4.
They opened at +5. They're already sitting at 3.5. So it's already moving in their favor.
Huff, I didn't know if you heard me say this earlier, but I think one of my favorite plays this week is your first half under in that game. These two divisional teams going to keep it close to the vest, and the Patriots knowing that they need to keep it low scoring if they want to have a chance at winning this one.
And the trends all favor the unders for the Bills as well, Huff.
Really? I saw something the last so many times these teams play each other, the overs hit.
As of late, the Bills are very on the under. The under's 5-1. The Bills' last 6 games against the AFC, 6-0 in the last 6 road games, 7-2 in the last 9 games overall.
The Bills and Patriots haven't had a true game in a while. If you remember last year, the Patriots won that fluky win game.
Oh, yeah.
The Bills blew them out in the playoffs. There was a second matchup that I don't recall off the top of my head, but we've yet to see really these two teams go at it with a good output from both sides.
But you might be right, Huff. Might be an interesting little Northeast little rivalry matchup.
Do we know what the weather's like? What's the weather like in New England tomorrow, Weatherman Ace?
Oh, it's pouring. I hit the mute button. It's pouring here today, so I mean, I don't know. It's literally pouring. It's storming. So if it can keep raining and Bill Belichick can conjure up some more wind, that would definitely be that'd be good for the brand tomorrow. But it looks like it's going to be sunny and cold.
Yeah,
Cold,
high
though.
of
That's
41,
good for the
low at
Patriots.
25. Sunny.
Snow, rain.
No, 0% of precipitation all day.
I like the over.
Really?
I like the over.
43.5.
Yeah.
Big Mac
Ace,
Jones guy.
I could see this being how I said, like, I've done that a couple of times. When I think the game's going to go under, I take the first half under because they start slow, and then the teams can come out the first possession of the second half, boom, touchdown. All of a sudden, there's 14 points right there. That first half under, that was, you know what I mean? I'd have it at 20, 21. This game, it might even be lower at like 19. That could hit. 10, you know what I mean? 10-6 in the first half. Bills could come out, boom, touchdown. Patriots answer, touchdown. Like, I know games like this, it's hard to predict, but I don't know.
Dude,
I like 43.5.
First half
These
total is
primetime-
sitting at an even 21.
These primetime overs have been
tempting.
smacking
Yeah.
ever since the beginning of the season too. I mean, even on Monday, it was Colts Steelers. Who's like, taking that game over on a primetime game? It ends 42 points, I think it was. So what was it? It was 21-17.
What, the Steelers game?
24-17.
Steelers?
24-17.
Yeah.
So it was 41. So that over hit. So I mean, ever since the beginning of the season, everyone had the trend that these primetime unders are hitting. Everyone's already on it now. So now these overs seem to be hitting. And I think this is another game where it could. I mean, both offenses have been moving. So
Vegas has it right.
Yeah, but be wary though, especially like Bill Belichick knows he needs to play ball control football against the Bills, and I know last week against the Vikings that game started 88 and out the gate, right? Like 2 scores on opening drives by the teams, Vikings and Patriots. I don't see a lot of points on the scoreboard this week. I see maybe a couple touchdowns for the Patriots with like 3 field goals. I see the Bills getting stymied, maybe a touchdown and like 3 or 4 field goals, a big Tyler Bass day. This could be a big over 1.5 field goal prop game. Nick Folk loves putting them through the pipes. He's our most explosive offensive player, so look for him to have a big game.
That's never a good thing to say about your NFL team, and there's been a couple points in my Steelers fandom career that I've said that about my team as well.
Yep. Nah, it's all play. Jacoby Myers has been upgraded to active for the game too, so that's definitely an interesting piece to see. It'll be a
I
good
like
one for
Kendrick
sure.
Bourne.
He doesn't play.
I know, I like him though. Him and Devontae
Yeah.
Parker. I used to love Devontae Parker on the Dolphins.
Patriots have so many 2s and 3s on their team. They should offload some of them. You know, it's like you don't really know.
That's
It's
like
tough. So you
basically
know
that's basically what the Steelers just did with Claypool, and you guys were trying to get another number 2 in Claypool.
No, those guys are 1s compared to who we have.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
The Steelers breed stud receivers. These guys are all small possession receivers. I know Parker's a little bit bigger, but it was nice to see Hunter Henry. I know Huff. I saw our followers probably saw that on Twitter. Huff hit big with a next drive touchdown.
I still
Hunter
can't
Henry.
believe that's who it was, dude.
But his first half of the season is like my stats on the card, really dead, not even alive, and his resurrection's been strong with touchdowns the last few games. So definitely might be looking at a prop for him.
Should he have had 2?
Oh, he should have had 2. I said it earlier. He should have had 2. But what are you gonna do? That's all right. Football gods will get it back in our favor. Josh Allen, he's gonna throw a few interceptions this week. That's one of the plays I might love is a Josh Allen interception. Probably a good line on that too.
seems like a biased play.
He throws an interception every week though.
I was just fucking with you.
True. Do you remember when I called that interception by Sauce Gardner against him? I'm calling again this week. It's gonna be Jack Jones. The rookies love picking him off.
All right, I'm sick of talking about the Patriots. Let's move on.
Yeah, I will be clipping that. Let's move over to Sunday, the 1 o'clock slate, starting off with the New York Jets at the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings the favorite here at -3. Their money line at -154 in the over-under, sitting at 44.5. The trends I got here are the Vikings have won 11 straight as the favorite. Their money line sitting at -154 this week. And the Jets are 6-2 against the spread in their last 8 games on the road, sitting +3. So what do we think? Those trends sitting in a good spot with this game, I think. Mac, you want to get us going?
Yeah, I really like this game because Jets coming off a nice win with Mike White. Mike White looked really good last week. Absolutely tore apart a pretty bad defense. I guess Bears don't have any very good defensive players except for Eddie Jackson in the backfield. But this is a good game. Jets sitting at 7-4. Vikings 9-2. Vikings, if they're not playing the NFC East, they're a top 3 team in the league. So this will be a good game. You're going to see a lot of money coming in on Minnesota, obviously, because everyone's still not as high on the Jets as they should be, I think, sitting at 7-4. But most people don't really think of them as being such a good team. I like them to definitely put up a good fight here. I think their offense is going to be able to move on this pretty bad Vikings defense. It's going to be more of a high-scoring game. I like the over. It's only sitting at 44.5. I think it'll probably move up a little. It's already moved up from 41.5. So definitely more of a high-scoring game, I think. But I think the Vikings going to figure it out at the end. Probably get a win. Could be pretty a pretty tough loss for this Jets team as they're fighting for a wild card spot right now. But this Vikings offense might just be a little too much for them.
I think you're on the Jets, are you?
No, I'm on the Vikings.
See, dude, I like Mike White. I think this is a huge game for this Jets team. The AFC East so tight right now. Saleh knows what he has to do. It's not going to be an easy job to go into Minnesota and get a win. I like the plus 3.5 with the Jets. I think Mike White and the ability, what he adds to that offense is everything that Zach Wilson wasn't able to do, and that's accurately throw a football. And if you asking me what kind of guy I want a quarterback, I want an accurate. I'm not saying Mike White's the next coming of fucking Tom Brady, but compared to Zach Wilson, I really like what he's capable of. And I know this Jets team doesn't have Breece Hall like they did at the beginning half of the year when I was taking them a lot. But Garrett Wilson, this team, they've been able to score points. I really like what this Jets team has done. The defense, I've been hyping up their defense all year. I just think this is a perfect time for Kirk Cousins to slip up and lose a game. But I'm going to give him the points. I like the Jets.
We've seen Mike White before though, and he hasn't really. What do you think? He's gotten that much better? He might have just had a good game.
I think it's an opportunity thing. Like this, if he wins this week, Zach Wilson is done.
Well, Zach Wilson's already done. I think the way he's addressed the media, even just the way he portrays himself, he's definitely he knows he's not getting another chance. He's missing 3-yard dump offs. He's throwing it 5 feet over their head.
But I think Mike White is honestly pretty good for that team. That's a really nice gap quarterback.
I think he's been very good for this team, and I think he has shown that he can get it done. But I don't want to jump the gun on this guy right away.
I think it's a big game. I think it's more of a not necessarily what can he do. It's more the whole team around him, the defense. They know what's at stake. If they want to stay alive in this playoff race, there's a huge divisional matchup on Thursday between the Bills and the Patriots that we just talked about. And if you guys like the Patriots and the Jets win this game, they have the same amount of wins as the Bills. So they're definitely hanging around in the AFC East. I know we've been talking about how elite that division's been all year with these wins, and they keep picking up. But I don't know. I think this is when I was talking before, and I said there's a couple rat games that I don't know why I like them, but I do. This is the first one, and it's the Jets.
Yeah, Huff, I kind of agree with you. This is such a tough game. That's a pesky Jets team. They have a lot of good pieces, but so much unfamiliarity. One thing that I keep playing with myself in my head about who I want to take in this one, I'm probably not going to take either side when it comes to that. I do like some props. I'm eager to see the match between Jay Jettis and Sauce Gardner. That'll be a great one to watch on Sunday. But one thing I do think about is both these teams should be due for a loss, so you can't really even use that narrative here. But the Patriots handled the Jets twice. I know that Zach Wilson started, but if the Patriots can handle them twice, both in their stadium and at home, and the Patriots just lost to the Vikings, therefore the Vikings should handle the Jets. I'm not leaning aside, but I do think the Vikings cover the 3 here. Not taking one. This might be a prop game, but not even at the same time, because I've said it before on this podcast. This Jets team's scary. This is a stay-away game for me. Maybe it changes and I get Vikings -3 stuck in my head and I just stay with it. But like Max said, a lot of the money's going to be there. And this Jets team is pesky. A lot of good pieces on both sides of the ball. And it's a gritty team led by Robert Saleh. So it's a stay away from me. But it'll be a fun one to watch for sure.
I think this is a really good game to try to live bet on because if the Vikings go up 7-0 on the first possession, you're getting the Jets at +10, +8.5. That's obviously a whole different ball game than +3. And Mackie, I think I texted you last week when the Packers were playing the Eagles. You said, "What side are you leaning?" Because I didn't take any side, and I said I'm gonna wait for the Eagles to go up 7-0 and take the Packers +10.5, and that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what I did.
That's a
Some
nice
some of
set.
these Sunday night games, I'll literally just wait for someone to score. I mean, unless I give a pick on the spread before, but like if I don't take anything on the spread, I usually just sit around and wait for the best time to buy in, and I'm like, all right, the Eagles are good, but they're not beating them by 10. This game's been so back and forth. You know what I mean? They're hanging with them. There's other weeks like I can't necessarily think. I think it was the Steelers against the Dolphins. They went down. I got the Steelers that game at like +13. I already had them at +7. There's a lot of games that just like I always say, these when you get that many points in the NFL, it's so hard for teams to cover that in prime time.
Good stuff out of that first 1 o'clock game. The next one we got is the Denver Broncos at the Baltimore Ravens. An interesting spread here at 8.5 points in the Ravens' favor. Their money line sitting at -400, and the over/under sitting at 38.5. I don't got any trends here, so let's pass it to Huff. Huff, what do you think? Broncos and Ravens here, another 1 o'clock matchup.
Yeah, obviously I don't even want to call them my Denver Broncos anymore. They just keep losing. Ross, obviously last week, AC sent me the thing. He was ranked the 33rd best quarterback, and there's 32 teams in the NFL. So that's not a stat that you want to see coming for a guy that you paid $250 million to come over and be your supposed franchise quarterback. An interesting line coming in this week against Baltimore. Baltimore, they haven't been able to cover a 3-point spread the past couple weeks, let alone an 8.5-point spread. I do like the Ravens here. I'm not going to take it, but I don't know. That Broncos +8.5 is very tempting, and I would not be surprised if I'm jumping on the Broncos. I just feel like it's sooner or later. I don't know. I think I'm now jumping off the Broncos is when they're going to hit, so I might just stay with my boys. 8+8.5, I kind of like it. So I don't know. This Ravens team, it's at home. It's an ugly pick. You guys are going to say, how can you keep picking this team? It's just kind of the same thing that I said about the Giants and the Jets. Whenever I jump off is when it's going to lose or keep hitting kind of thing. So at this point, the Broncos are just that kind of team. I'm going to keep riding. And with 80% of the money on Baltimore, I like it. Raven or whatever they're called, the Broncos, +8.5.
I really love the Ravens here, but I can't bet on that team anymore. I mean, the amount of times this team has screwed me, and I didn't even take them last week, and I would have killed them, or I would have. I don't even know what I would have done if I had them last week. They blew another game.
I had the Jags.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I had them.
Yeah, well, yeah. At least it screwed one of us. But Broncos, on the other hand, another team you can't bet on. I just don't see this team generating any offense, and that's the problem with the Ravens.
Yeah, I won't touch this game. This is a bad game.
The problem with the Ravens is that they give up touchdowns at the end of their game, and Russell Wilson is not getting in the end zone. He can't. He hasn't done it all season. I think he literally still has more bathrooms in his house than touchdowns on the field. So, I mean, I'm not taking. I can't pick a play on this game. If I had to pick a play for the sake of conversation, I love the Ravens -8.5, but I will never throw my money on them again for at least the rest of the year.
Yeah, Huff. Another trip I got to throw your way. I don't know how the Broncos are going to cover 8.5 points when they put 0 on the scoreboard every week. So, yeah, that's how I'm.
The Ravens are.
leaning
I
the
don't.
Ravens.
When's the last time the Ravens have scored more than 20?
They're not gonna need to.
Yeah, I don't think they do either. I don't think that the Broncos can do much at all. Like, they released Melvin Gordon. I don't know why. That's a weird team. I just want people to be fired. I want that team to be scrapped. I mean, they're going to run it back with Russ. Obviously, next year it's what they have to do. But, yeah, I'm going to take the Ravens maybe in a money line play or in a
It's the
team.
right thing to do. You got to get hacked the fuck out of it.
I love being able to tease the Ravens this week to 2.5. That'll be my favorite play. Maybe you'll see that in a 2-teamer for me. If you can get the Ravens at 2.5 with the Justin Tucker leg against the Denver Broncos, I think they're in the Baltimore's going to be salty after that loss last week, too. They're going to come out rolling. I love Lamar to have a big game. It's his contract year. We were talking about him being an MVP, pegged him as that, and this is one of the best teams in the league. They'll get back to it. That's going to be a playoff team come the end of the season. So I think they handle Denver easily. 8.5 is just way too much for any football team. Backdoor covers scare me. So it'll be a tease down to 2.5, most likely.
Interesting game there. Not sure what I think about that 8.5 point spread. It's a tough one. Next game up is the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Atlanta Falcons. The Steelers, the favorite here at just 1.5. Their money line sitting at -108, and the over/under sitting at 42.5. No trends from me here. Huff, let's send it over to you. Do you think the Steelers can take care of business in Atlanta?
I think there's a lot of things depending on this game going in. Obviously, last week the Steelers lost Najee Harris to injury in the middle of the game.
Sounds like a no.
What'd you say?
Sounds like a no to Jesse's question. Long way to say no.
No, but I was saying I think there's a lot of things going into that. I think if you can have Najee Harris in this game, I think that's a big if. Though obviously he's had the foot injuries throughout the season. But Jalen Warren, Ace, we've talked about him. He's supposedly coming back this week. I really like what Pickett has been doing over the past couple of weeks. The growth that he's taken and the steps of his career throughout the past couple of weeks. He's been getting better and better. Hasn't turned the ball over in 3 weeks. That's huge for a rookie quarterback. I know that sounds like something like a stat to look for, like a pull, something to just say about him to make him sound like he's an elite quarterback, but I'm not saying that. I'm just looking for baby steps. This isn't a Steeler team that I'm looking for a playoff win out of this year. I'm playing against an inferior Atlanta team that just lost Kyle Pitts to the year. Their defense is their defense. They're letting up points on a, you know what I mean? Basically anyone can score in the Atlanta Falcons. Last week the Falcons threw a pick on the goal line. I know the Commanders obviously have been a hot team, but the Falcons just aren't doing it for me lately, and I was high on them the past couple of weeks. I like Tomlin to go down to Atlanta in the Dome, get the job done. Steelers money line.
Huff, you know what's crazy is I kind of shit on the Steelers throughout the year, but I feel like I'm in the minority in this too. I think Kenny Pickett's good. I don't think he's great, but I think he's actually pretty good. I think he's got good rapport with his receivers too. He's got good chemistry with Pickens. One thing I was going to say though, I don't think, maybe it's a sophomore slump or an injury holding him back or that atrocious O-line. I don't think Najee Harris is that good. Maybe they're better off with him off the field this week. We saw the way that Benny Snell stepped in his place. I feel like he's been doing that for years now. I'm just wondering, does he still wear that mouth guard that spins the whole time?
The wheel or whatever it is, the fan. That thing's sick.
Yeah. No, Benny Snell's the boy. They had McFarland up too. I'm actually pretty high on. They have a good running back.
Dude, Ace, how about we were talking about, you texted, you go, how about a Warren anytime touchdown? What are the odds on that? I go, I don't know, but Benny Snell's plus 600 scores the game winner.
Yep. So even if they're without Najee Harris, they can get the same production with the trio, and if Warren can come back, that's a nice X factor to add in. But it's scary because of how much we've seen the Falcons cover this year and how high our team's been on them. Especially in Atlanta, the rookie. I'm not high on rookies on the road. If this was in Pittsburgh, I'd like it a lot more. Kind of the same reason that I didn't like them last week in Indy, and I ended up staying away. Maybe I'll go with some props again. I seem to be hitting a lot on those George Pickens props. They're so low for some reason. He's a great player. I got burned on that Freiermuth one.
It's because he gets like 3 catches or 2 catches, but they're always, one of them's always for like more than 25 yards.
No, I've hit on his over reception prop too. The thing is, you're right though. He does catch long balls. Last week, that's why I went with the yards because I was kind of nervous of that. But he's one of the best young receivers in the league. And like I said, that chemistry with Pickett goes a long way. Maybe, what were you saying the line was, Jesse, for Steelers money line?
Steelers money line is at -108. They're technically even money with the Falcons.
I'm surprised at that line actually very much. I don't know about you guys. I thought they'd be a heavier plus, maybe like plus 160 in Atlanta.
Dude, Atlanta hasn't been very good recently. I mean, they got off to a pretty good start. I mean, they're still in a contention for that division, I guess. But you're sitting at 7-5. Had a few tough losses recently. I think they're 1-4, 1-3.
5-7.
What?
5-7, not 7-5.
Yeah, 5-7. My bad. But I think they're 1-3 in their last 4. The only thing that I am leaning their way a little is that they're definitely a different team when they're on their home field. I think they're 4-2 on their home field this year, which shows that they can get the job done in their dome, whatever they have over there, Mercedes-Benz. The place is huge. I wouldn't even know what you would call it, but Mariota's been kind of just doing enough to get it done at home. I mean, this is definitely a different team though with T.J. Watt. They're 2-1 with him back. You had a tough loss to a obvious divisional opponent in Cincinnati Bengals. But this team has a lot more confidence. Kenny Pickett playing with a lot more confidence. Ace, I like your take on him actually being a pretty good quarterback because he looks confident out there. He gets first down after first down. He's playing good football and he looks comfortable and he looks like he can get the job done for this team. I don't really know which way I lean this game. I kind of like both ways. I think this Steelers team is a lot different with TJ Watt, and I think the confidence is there right now. So I like this Steelers team to get it done this week. I think this Falcons team is kind of falling off the wrong edge of the cliff right now. So I like the Steelers to get another win against a pretty shitty opponent this week.
I would lock this in if the Steelers were plus, and they're not. So I'm gonna stay away, sadly. But I think the Steelers do get it done. But it's a must-win for the Falcons, which is so scary.
Not, I mean,
they've been in that situation before, and have they ever come up big?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
But I mean, kind of back to what you're saying. Kind of, I don't know why I think this is a pick'em game. Is the offense for the Steelers just kind of been rolling the past couple of weeks? You put up all those points on Cincinnati. 24 points on primetime Monday Night Football road game. Pickett the game-winning drive. This offense has been scoring points. They're finally getting balls downfield. Najee has looked better. I know, obviously, we just said he's going to be injured and miss this game, most likely. But I don't know. Pickett is able to get out of the pocket and extend plays, get down. He's able to use his legs, get a first down. I really like what he's been able to do. He's a fun quarterback to watch week in and week out. And like I said, towards the end of this season, please draft an offensive line. That is all I ask. And I know they're going to pick a linebacker, but here's me right now in November 30th, 2022, 5 months in advance. We need a lineman. They're not going to get him, but get Pickett and Najee his protection. So people like Ace, like, you're not the only one saying that. Like, there's a lot of people around Pittsburgh. They're like, I don't think Najee's the guy. I'm like, dude, they got fucking Joe Schmo playing left guard. I'm like, you can't run behind that offensive line. And it's crazy that Pickett's doing what he's able to do.
Also, pump the brakes. It's a sophomore season. We see sophomore slumps all the time. Injury-riddled, battle line. You're right. But something Mike Tomlin, Steelers brass, if you can hear me, you can't replace Ryan Shazier. Stop trying.
And Devin Bush was the biggest reach in the world. That's my 2 cents.
It's just another 1 o'clock game on the slate, but I'm hoping for a Steelers W there. We'll see what happens in Atlanta at 1 o'clock. Next up is the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Detroit Lions. The Lions are the favorite here, just -1. Another pick'em at -108 money lines piece, and the over/under sitting at 51.5. No trends from me in this one. What do we think? Trevor Lawrence. Mackie, why don't you take us away on this one? What do you think Trevor Lawrence can do this week? I think he's kind of heating up. He's been doing all right the past few weeks, getting some points. What do we think?
Yeah, I don't know. This Jags team started off well. They had a rough middle of the season, but they're starting to pick it back up again. Obviously, a crazy win last week against the Ravens. They ended up going for 2 after tying it with like 12 seconds left or something, converting. Nice win. Obviously, Ravens blew it as always. But I don't know. I was surprised to see this line so close, so close to a pick'em. I really like the Jags in this situation. I just think that they're trending in the right direction. Lions pulled a few wins out of their ass for the last few weeks. Jared Goff looks a little better. The whole team just looks like it's gelling a little better. But I just don't think that they're on the uprise at all. I think they're kind of stuck as one of the lower teams in the league. Whereas the Jags have a lot going for them. They're a young team. They're finding themselves a little better. Trevor Lawrence is playing confident football. Even the defense stepping up a little. I think they're just finding ways to stay in games and even like we saw last week, win some tough games, win games that they're really not supposed to even be in. So I like them even on the road this week. I think they can get it done. Trevor Lawrence get another win under his belt against another bad team that he's going to be playing.
It's so crazy to me that we keep getting these like even lines each week. It's like off. Like they don't really know who you want to take. It's like Vegas can't even make up their mind. I like the Jaguars in this spot though. They're hot, like you said, Mackie, and that Lions defense loves giving up points. Maybe the over is a lock, but you want to know what definitely is a lock, and it's gonna be Remind me if it isn't. It's going to be on my card. It's Jamal Williams to get in the end zone. Guy has a nose for it. I think he might lead the league in rushing touchdowns. If not, he's very close. So I love a lot of points to be scored from both teams. Weak defenses on either side. So it'll be a fun shootout to watch, in my opinion. Give me the Jags and a Williams touchdown this week.
He does
I'm
lead the
guessing
league.
Yeah, probably a tough line against the Jags defense, but I think he can convert there.
I'm right there with you guys. I like the Jaguars. I think these are two teams that I took last week. I obviously had the Lions on Thanksgiving plus the 10, and the Jaguars plus the 4 in that crazy ending against the Ravens that ended up working out for me. Wish I had the money line, but never going to sweat it. I'll take the points. But two teams that I had last week, so obviously two teams that I'm pretty high on this season or have been over the past couple of weeks. Not necessarily thinking they're going to, do anything or make any noise. Just two teams I think you can find some value on week in and week out. And I think that's why we see a pretty even matchup here. I like the Jaguars, like you said. It comes down to defense. It comes down to who has the better quarterback. And right now, I think Trevor Lawrence is the better quarterback. And I know Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamal Williams have gotten the job done at the skill position for the Lions, but I really like what the Jaguars have at the skill position. Travis Etienne, Christian Kirk, Zay Jones. I really like this Jaguars team. It's going to be the Jaguars. I don't know if they're -1, +1. What is it?
It's -1, but it's going to be even. I think this could be a team play for us. We haven't had one in a while. Seems like if Jesse's on board, then
I like the Jags. The Jags.
With Doug Peterson and the boys this week, I think a lot of points flying off the board, but Lawrence is going to have a day.
Jags money line -108.
I like it, boys. Look forward to that on Sunday. Lots to look forward to on Sunday. The next game up is the Tennessee Titans at the Philadelphia Eagles. We have the Eagles favored here at -5.5 points. Their money line sitting at -225, and the over/under sitting at 44.5. The trends I got here are that the Titans are 10-3 against the spread in their last 13 games when playing as the underdog, 8-1 against the spread in their last 9, and 5-1 straight up in their last 6 games against Philadelphia. But do we think this year's Philadelphia team is going to take down the Titans? Huff, you want to get us going here?
Yeah, this is a very interesting game. Obviously, you have the very good Titans, in my opinion. This team is obviously the past couple of weeks we've taken them. I know, Mackie, you had them. Was it last week? Ace, yeah, you had.
I had them. I took them with the alternate spread, which was nice too against the Packers in primetime.
Yeah, I knew someone had them, and I had them a couple weeks ago. It's a team I've had my eye on for the past couple of weeks. The Titans are obviously a pretty good team heading to Philly. Obviously, Philly's 10-1. We know what they are, and I've kind of said my opinion on them. I think they're a pretty good team, but kind of a mid-season slump for the Eagles over the past couple of weeks, and that's interesting to say. Obviously, they're still 10-1. The loss to the Commanders, and then a squeak-out win against the Packers. I know it didn't really ever look like the Eagles were going to lose that game, but push on the spread. I like the Eagles in this spot, -5.5. And one play I really, really, really like is A.J. Brown, anytime touchdown, revenge game against his old team that traded him on draft day. I really like A.J. to get in the end zone. I like the Eagles, -5.5. Looks like I might be able to get a -5. I like the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to really disagree with you on this one, Huff. Titans are a little bit different than the rest of the Eagles' schedule, and it's that they're actually healthy and good and have all their weapons to go at them full force. Every good team we've seen the Eagles play this year, we've seen them play the Cowboys without Dak, we've seen play the Vikings on prime time with Kirk Cousins on week 2. We knew it was going to happen there. They haven't really been tested against anyone good. I mean, they beat the Colts the other week, 16-15, I think, on a last-second touchdown. They were down the entire game. I don't know. This Eagles team, they're very good. They're 9-1, but they're not one of the best teams in the league, in my opinion. And I don't even think they're the best team in the NFC East. Could be a little biased, but I don't think they are. Ace looking at me like I'm crazy, but I don't know. Look back at the stats a little, but I think I like the Titans here. I think everyone's gonna be on the Eagles. Everyone's really high on the Eagles. I know I'm high on Jalen Hurts, and I've been saying how good he is, but this is a real test for the Eagles, and their defense is gonna see something a little different than what they've seen. And I think they're gonna get off to a rough start. They're going to be down a few touchdowns and have to crawl from behind. I don't think they're going to be able to get it done. I like Titans to win this game outright. Eagles, they got to lose some games. They're not one of the best teams in the that we've seen in this past decade or so. So I see they got to lose some games. And I think this is one that they can definitely lose.
You know what's crazy, Mackie, is I agree with like almost every point you brought up except for one, and that's the fact that I think the Eagles win this game. I'm honestly leading that Eagles -5. But you're right. They've had a fraudulent schedule. They haven't played a good quarterback. They haven't played a good team. But when I look at the matchups between these two teams, this is a great matchup for the Philadelphia Eagles. They have
this is game of the week, in my opinion.
I could see that too. It's one of the top teams in the. This is the reigning AFC regular season champion going up against one of the hottest teams in the NFL. But when we look at it, let's break it down for a second. Derrick Henry's the best offensive piece on the Tennessee Titans, right? Look at that front seven for the Eagles. They have the defensive tackles. They have the big guys up front to stop the run. Then you go to the secondary. I know Jesse's taking a prop on Traylon Burks. I'm really high on him too. He's one of my favorite rookie receivers. Obviously, they traded A.J. Brown and took him to fill that role. But he's going to be clamped this week by Darius Slay. And I know you said that they haven't played a good team, but the thing is they still haven't played a good quarterback. I think Ryan Tannehill is good. I don't think he's good enough to beat this juggernaut, which is the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think that the Titans give up way too many points. The Eagles can score on the ground, through the air. Miles Sanders had a career day last week. He's in a contract year. Let's not forget that. He's been eating. I know Dallas Goedert being out is I don't know if he's back yet or if he's done for the year or whatnot. What's going on with him? But it seems to be they're not even skipping a beat without him. They're throwing the ball to everybody because so much coverage is going to A.J. Brown. And then when nothing's there, Jalen Hurts is making it happen with his legs. I'm going to take the Eagles -5. That might be on my card. I'm really high on the Titans. I think they're a great team. And they're going to be in the playoffs this year, win that division. But I think this week the Eagles handle them.
Yeah, you made some good points there. That's how you really back up a pick.
It's true. I just think it's a great matchup. That Titans defense is really weak in my opinion.
Yeah, you're right
Jeffrey
about
Simmons.
that. And the Tennessee offense does revolve around Derrick Henry. You know, that front seven is just a brick wall. So it'll be cool to see what Ryan Tannehill can do.
I think Tannehill's good.
Yeah, he's good. He's definitely not elite.
He's not
Did I ask you this last week? Who are you taking, Tannehill or Kirk Cousins?
Tannehill.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm taking Cousins.
I don't know.
Ball, Tannehill's
Those
more
two
consistent, and Tannehill's more consistent, and he wins in bigger games.
I can't go against that. But
I'd probably take Tannehill too. But
what about the help Kirk Cousins has?
What do you mean?
He has Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, and Adam Thielen.
Yeah, but he hasn't always had Justin Jefferson. And
Tannehill.
Adam Thielen is. Come on.
Didn't he have Diggs and Thielen before? Like, come on.
That was before Diggs was really Diggs, though. Diggs wasn't. What do you mean? Like, everyone will tell you right now that Diggs was no one who he used to be when he was in Minnesota.
I love him.
Vikings have always had a great defense up there too, though. That Titans team, he hasn't had, besides Henry, what has he really had to work with? Kevin Byard and Justin Simmons on the side of the ball. Jeffrey Simmons, my bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say Justin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Both studs on defense, very different players. But yeah, this is going to be Huff said this is definitely the game of the week. This is going to be my favorite one to watch. Yeah, great game. Two playoff teams, two heavyweights going at it. But also the fact it's in Philly, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I love that. So I'm riding -5 with Huff here. I think Miles Sanders definitely gets in. Eagles team total maybe too. But you never know with the way Mike Vrabel has the Titans playing. Mackey's got the Titans hat on. I know it's a Houston Oilers hat. We debated that before, so he has to rock with them. But
we'll call it a Titans
hat. You get a juicy line with that team.
Mackie, don't call it a Titans.
Mackie, if you end up taking this, would this be something you consider on your card or no?
100%. Yeah, I'm already looking into it.
And your line is at what?
I don't know, 5.
No, it's like he's buying a car. Yeah, I'm already looking into it, dude.
Yeah, I am.
No, you're taking him. You're taking him with the points.
I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I'm definitely looking. There's so much value on that. I think they're sitting at plus 202 or something like that.
That's crazy. So you want just something to think about? Would you consider doing what I did with the Packers a few weeks ago? You go alternate -1.5 or -2.5. Get a crazy line there because most football games are won by more than a couple.
I've literally never done that. I've never even thought about doing that. It's actually like it's really smart.
I've done that before. If you're gonna take the underdog, just take them by a field goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did
And
2
then
weeks in a
they-
row
and then
now
by
on
two.
2-unit
No,
plays,
I-
and it hit.
I'd rather take him like -1.5. See what
Just
boost
so
it
you
a
don't get
little.
fucked.
It doesn't
Yeah.
move. It doesn't move it that much.
No, 2.5 does though. I literally hit with
2.5
Titans
does.
over Packers. I hit with Raiders over who was that last week? Seahawks.
It's because like there's common scores by 2 points that we don't
Yeah,
even realize.
very.
Like 23, 21, 19, 17.
Or like we saw Trevor Lawrence against the Ravens.
Going
Yeah.
for 2. Yeah, no,
Going
you're
for
right.
2
You're right.
and
There's
one.
oddities. Obviously, it's not a foolproof plan, or else everybody would do it. But you get a
Everyone
really
would do it,
juicy
yeah.
line. You get a really juicy
Yeah,
line. Why
you're
not
wrong.
look into
You're
it?
not wrong.
Yeah, if you really look at underdog, it's literally you might as well take them by a field goal.
That is an
I've done
interesting
that
bet,
before,
boys.
Ace. As soon as you did that, I knew exactly that's why you did that.
I'm gonna look into it this week. See what I can do. Cause I could probably get him -2.5, like over +300.
Like I could look at that with the Patriots
I'd
this
say,
week too.
I'd say 270.
Yeah, it doesn't
Patriots
bump it as
support-
much as you
yeah.
think. Patriots will go from 155 to maybe like 195 if I take them.
No way.
Yeah, yeah.
Minus
Yeah.
2.5.
No,
It's
that's
basically
a 6 point,
taking
that's
a
a
money
6.5
line.
point move.
-2.5 for the Titans is
that's why
plus
there's
220.
lines.
Did you hear that, Mackie?
Say again.
+2.5 for the, or sorry, -2.5 for the Titans is plus 220.
Yeah. See, I don't see that. I don't think there's any value in that play at all.
Yeah, at that difference, I'd rather take the money.
Yeah, just take the money line. 100%.
Agreed. If it moves up by
But Ace,
Like
you found two
50.
really good differences.
Yeah, you
yeah,
did.
that Raiders one in the Titans one. Yeah, it worked
Titans
out well.
one was
and
like
that's,
plus 160. I was like, damn.
yeah. That's why I went with it. Same theory. I mean, if you're gonna win the game, hopefully you win it by more than 3. But
Yeah.
definitely something to look into for a juicy line if you're down some.
Very interesting bet there, Ace. I like it. It's good stuff. The next game up is the Cleveland Browns at the Houston Texans. The Browns are the favorite here at 7 points. Their money line sitting at -335, and the over/under sitting at 47.5. No trends from me in this one. But game in Houston. What do we think, Mackie? You want to get us rolling?
Deshaun Watson is back, and
Yes,
against
sir.
who else but the Houston Texans. So let's look into this a little.
I'll just tell you, there's 80% of the money on the Browns.
On who?
On the Browns.
Dude, I am all over the Texans this week. All over the Texans this week. Browns.
Should we do
mean,
it? I'll do it.
Dude, they can win this game outright.
Yeah.
This line is so juiced because Deshaun Watson's coming back. The guy hasn't played football in 2 years. He hasn't played football in
Kyle
over 500
Allen.
days.
Kyle Allen.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Are you saying that in a good way or a bad way?
Bad way. He's fucking bad.
Dude, yeah, I don't know. I mean, everyone is gonna be on. There's 91% of the money on Cleveland money line. I mean, Houston gets blown out last week. Obviously, it didn't look that bad, 30-15. Browns coming off a sick win against the Bucks. Everyone is gonna be high on the Browns after what they just did. You know, you got. This is what the Browns fans have been waiting for all season. I mean,
Mackie,
Deshaun
I
Watson's
agree
back
with you.
week
I agree.
13.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I don't mind the
Eight-
Texans
Eight
revenge game. But
accusers, eight
I'm-
accusers of Deshaun Watson sexual assault will be in the stands. You don't think he knows that? You don't think he knows where each one of them are sitting and it's gonna be distracting him?
No,
They're gonna probably
there's
write
too
something
many
on
of
their
them.
foreheads and he's gonna be reading it all game. Texans money line, I'm slamming it right now.
Dude, let's team card.
Is it on the
this shit.
card
I love
already?
it.
It's already on the card.
Yeah, it's not on the team card because I can't put my money on Kyle Allen. But I do like your theories, and I do think that the Texans.
This
can
is
win
literally Colts over Chiefs week 3.
game. Yeah, I can't bring myself to team card it. Sorry, boys. I'm sticking with the Jaguars as our team play this week. But I do tell you a bet I do love is Nick Chubb to get in the end zone. That Texans defense can't stop anybody. I hit a 3-unit play with Barkley against them weeks ago, and Chubb's a much better runner. Damian Pierce will get in the end zone too and have a good game. I do think the Texans can win the game. The storyline and everything. Deshaun Watson hasn't played in 800 days? right? Like the
Too
guys who
long.
picked up a football. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So in no chemistry, uh, it's just the Texans are such a bad team. The defense can't stop anybody. Literally, the Browns know if Deshaun Watson sucks after being off for 800 days, what do? You hand it to Chunt, and usually the Chunt gets it going. And they're coming off of a big win in last week. I know what you're thinking with the Texans being riled up for the game. You don't think the Browns are pumped up for this one, though? They're like, we got our guy now. Like, we're ready to go.
They're 4 and
You know?
7. They were wanting to be 6 and 5 at this point. Looking at a playoff
Yeah, didn't
spot.
they won last week, though. They're coming off, riding high off a big win.
They're riding high off Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not picking a side in this game. Definitely not. But I am definitely taking a Nick Chubb touchdown. That might be on my card. It's gonna be a steep line, but that Texans defense is so bad. But it'll be a fun one to watch. I'm eager to see the reception they have, and you got to think the Texans come out hot. No,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
no,
I don't
here's
think the
something to
Browns-
think about though. Here's something to think about. How many of the guys on the Texans roster were even there when Deshaun Watson was there? Though, not many.
Oh, probably like maximum 5-6 people.
Yeah, so that maybe puts a pin in our revenge game narrative and whatnot.
Yeah, just still
Just
the
food for thought.
concept.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought the same thing when looking at it, but then at the same time, I caught myself because I was like, "Oh wait, the Texans stink." So
I'm not.
I don't-
I don't know. I don't know if I'll touch this game. This
yeah,
Deshaun Watson.
I was like,
Deshaun
"Oh wait,
Watson.
they're bad."
Deshaun Watson could win this game 42-7 and just middle finger the whole city of Houston.
He's not
Or
like
I'm
that,
with you,
man.
Mackie. I know, but I'm with you. I think the Texans win this thing. I don't see a point to take Texans +7, but I'm probably gonna take Texans +7 if I take something on this game. So I don't know. I'm kind of all over the place on this one.
Chubb tutty?
No, I do. I just like the narrative of Deshaun Watson losing this game. I'm a Steelers fan. I want to see the Browns lose.
You don't want to see Twitter cry when Deshaun Watson puts up a MVP stat line? It'll be fun to watch. It's going to be must-watch TV. A lot of America's going to be putting that on their screen to see what this guy can look like after being just in courts and whatnot for the last 800 days, like I said. But
Imagine
yeah,
he throws
sure.
a pick. Imagine he throws a pick on the first possession.
Oh, the Bill Cosby memes are going to be everywhere.
Derek Stingley to the crib, first touchdown.
Dameon Pierce really needs to get going if he wants Rookie of the Year, too. It's another narrative you could use as a Texans bump. And that Browns defense sucks. But yeah, I like Chubb. Chunt. Roll Chunt. Haven't said it enough lately. Chunt.
You said it, Ace. Deshaun Watson is back. What will we see this week? Everybody will be watching. The next 1 o'clock game we have is the Washington Commanders at the New York Giants. The Commanders the favorite in this matchup at 2.5 points. Their money line sitting at -136 and the over-under at 40.5. The trends I got here are that the Commanders are 6-0-1 against the spread in their last 7. The Giants have lost 5 straight divisional games. And the Giants are 0-7 against the spread in their last 7 games played in December. The trends are leaning towards Commanders -2.5. Get us going on this one, Ace.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. This is one game that will not be on my TV on Sunday. But a big game nonetheless in the NFC East. NFC East, I mean. They're big game in the standings, whatnot. Mackie, very angry at that comment.
Whoa.
But these 4 teams in that division are really good at beating each other and stacking up the wins, so I don't think there's too much there. Crazy to me that the Giants are underdogs at home against the Commanders. I mean, Taylor Heineke been playing good football. I know Mackey's really high on him, but I don't see how they can be underdogs here at their home stadium. I'm coming in, I was like, maybe I'm gonna stay away. Maybe I lean Commanders, but seeing that, I love the Giants. Plus, this is a spot. Jesse, if you could real quick, could you get me that -2.5 on the Giants line? I know they're sitting at +115 on a money line, but with all the weapons they have and the way they've been playing, they're not going to let their season slip through the cracks with a loss at home to the Washington Commanders. So I'm definitely going to be looking at a juice spread for 2.5.
Dude, the Commanders are a wagon right now.
Ooh, Taylor Heineke's 5-1.
-2.5 for the Giants is +136.
I might be taking that. I might be taking that. I've been against the Giants a lot this year. I've talked trash on them. Mackey loves talking trash. So I'm saying they're the worst, whatever record they are in the league. And I thought they were going to be fighting for the top pick. But after watching them, they played a pretty good game against a really good Cowboys team on Thanksgiving. So, yeah, I think they get the job done. I think they handle the Commanders pretty easily. I know they're hot, but if a hot team, think about the teams that the Commanders have played lately. They won that Eagles game, right? It was a divisional game on the prime time. Eagles were due for one, probably a trap game. But I love the Giants this game. I don't know. Let me hear what you guys have to say about this. I love the Giants here, though.
I don't know. I'm kind of on the opposite side. I kind of think Commanders is a wagon right now. I don't know if I can go against Taylor Heineke and Brian Robinson and Terry McLaurin. This defense just got Chase Young back. I really like what the Commanders have been cooking up over the past couple of weeks. Last week, I actually almost took the Falcons plus 3.5 with Jesse. They end up throwing an interception on the goal line. But this Commanders defense is no joke. They're back to that kind of stigma that everyone said where everyone was like, Washington has a pretty good defense, but their offense can't do anything. Their offense is getting the job done. I know they only scored 19 points last week, but I don't know. I don't hate the Commanders in this spot. I don't know if I'll take it, but I don't hate the Commanders here.
I just really think this is going to be a good game. Ace, you were saying in the beginning that this is a game that will not be on your TV, but I think this could really be a shootout. I mean, both teams, both offenses have been really performing. What do you? I don't really understand the hate on this game, but
The Daniel Jones Taylor Heineke shootout. I don't think I've heard that.
Taylor
story before.
Heineke's 5-1. He's doing better than Mac Jones is over there in New England. But
what's the most yards? Keep talking. I'm gonna pull up a stat real quick.
Okay, Mac Jones finally throws for 380 yards. Now you're like, oh, look at how many yards is Taylor Heineke throwing for?
No. Regardless of Mac Jones,
yeah,
I
you
just
would have never before Mac Jones threw 380 yards last week. You would have never said how many yards did this quarterback throw for, comparing them to Mac Jones.
Oh,
Mac Jones probably never
Mac
thrown
Jones has
300
played.
yards before.
Mac Jones has played terrible. I'm not comparing him to a Jones quarterback. I think I've said this on the podcast before. If you have a quarterback with his last name Jones, you're in trouble. But yeah, I think regardless of that, the Giants will get it done. But yeah, I just want to pull up these stats real quick. I think Taylor Heineke is a good quarterback, but statistically, he doesn't do too much. I've always liked him ever since he had that very gutsy game against the Bucs. Remember the Bucs Super Bowl run first week of the playoffs. They played the Commanders or Washington football team at the time, and Heineke stepped in and had a great game and almost won it for him. I do like him, but I don't. He doesn't bring much to the table.
Yeah,
Let me see this year. All right, so since he started, you ready? He's thrown for 138 yards, 190 yards, 200. That's a good game for him. 140, 269. That's pretty good, and 200. So that's a mixed bag. But in a divisional game, I don't think he's doing much. I really don't see how they put points on the board against this Giants team. I think it's such a big game for the Giants season. You think that the Giants are going to let this season slip away with a loss to the Commanders? Such a crucial game in the standings.
No, they'll be sitting at 7-5 and still be in a playoff spot when they lose this game. Dude, the Commanders are just genuinely. I just think that they're better. You're saying you don't know how they're going to put up points. They have never had a problem putting up points, even though you're saying he's not throwing for that many pass yards. Granted, he's not 140, 160, whatever. That's baby numbers, obviously. But he's 5-1. It doesn't matter how he's getting the job done. It matters that he is getting the job done. And like Huff said, you're getting Chase Young back. This whole entire team is coming together. You're looking at a playoff spot right now. Nobody has more confidence in the world right now than a quarterback who's 5-1 sitting in a playoff spot with a team that was 1-4 with Dan Snyder in allegations, who had no talks about winning football games. So, I mean, this team is just as high as possible right now. They look like a better team than the New York Giants, and I just think this is going to be a really good game, a really good shootout game, and both quarterbacks are going to perform. I think both offenses are going to move.
Do you think it's going to be a shootout?
I think it's
going to be low scoring.
It's not going to be a Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen shootout, but it's going to be.
You're saying it's going to be competitive.
Yeah, it's going to be scores at the end of the game. It's going to be big plays made at the end of the game. They're going to be detrimental.
Last week I called those couple of value anytime touchdowns. For this one, I'd do a little same gamer, big hat Brian Robinson and Saquon both to get in. I love that.
The lead running backs to get in. I hit on that last week on Sunday Night Football with the two top dogs getting in the end zone with Sanders and who was
Jones,
it?
Aaron Jones.
Yep. That's always a good bet, and you can get good odds on it. So I hear you there, Ralph. But yeah, I'm leaning Giants here. I might put the Giants on my card at -2.5 or plus 136. Really
There's
might.
also a game where I feel like Giants Washington, they always come down to like 2-point games. So I feel like that. I don't know. I'm not trying
Yeah,
to
it's
like.
always gonna be a weird score.
I'm
So I
not
don't
trying
want
to
to
talk
take
you out.
points
I'm not
here.
trying to talk you out of a play. I'm just saying from what I see. Like,
That's a good point. That's a good point. In a divisional game, maybe I don't do that. The games where I've taken those alternate spreads have been out of division, so maybe you're
I
right
mean,
there. Maybe they'll just
they've
stick
been-
with that money.
They've been working for you though, so I mean, whatever you think.
Yeah, but
works.
that's a good point. Like the games I had before were two teams that are very unfamiliar with each other. And Chase Young back, I didn't realize that. That's a big thing. But I still love
the money
Giants
line.
in the spot.
The money line, yeah.
Yeah.
But
You might see this. I think you really might see this on my card. I like that a lot. I think the Giants are playing good football. They
Not
did well
might,
against last
really
week.
might.
They did well last week against a really good Cowboys team.
they did well, but like, I guess they did well. They had a good first half. I mean, second half it was 21 nothing basically until the bullshit touchdown at the end that backdoor covered. But I don't know. I feel like once Dallas actually kicked it in and started playing football, it was just two completely different fields of play that these teams are in. I just think Washington's a better component. I think they're more well put together and put up more of a fight against.
I'm eager to see
Better
if we'll be
teams.
clashing heads here on the card this week with these two teams.
Yeah, I'm not really sure
I
how I
don't
on
know.
this. I don't know, but
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
just lean Washington.
Gotcha. Yeah, you'll be seeing Giants.
I've been so high on the Giants all year.
I can't bet against the Giants, dude. Every time I do, they just surprise me.
This will be a fun one to watch for sure, with a lot of meaning on the line to playoff.
True that, Ace. Good stuff out of that matchup. Our last 1 o'clock game coming up here is the Green Bay Packers at the Chicago Bears. The Packers the favorite in this matchup at -5.5. Their money line sitting at -200, and the over/under sitting at 43.5. No trends from me in this final 1 o'clock matchup, but let's shoot it over to Mackie on this one. What do we think's going down in Chicago? I think the Packers are going to take care of business against the Bears, even though I have not been very confident with the Packers lately.
Yeah. Is something going on with Justin Fields right now?
He's back.
He's not playing. He's not playing. I don't think.
Okay. Yeah,
I think he's back.
You think he's back, Hoff?
Yeah.
I'm looking it up right now. I want to get an official word before I give a comment on this game. That's important. And we don't have an official comment. He's limited and questionable. But if he's limited on a Wednesday, I would assume he's a go.
Well, we're talking about two different conversations here. If Justin Fields is in or out. Obviously, if he's out.
Here's
this
my
line-
logic.
What?
Here's my logic on me thinking he's in. He's projected 24 fantasy.
Okay.
I think on this side, I think if he was a game time
Mackey's
call.
Not like that logic.
No, Mackie was pissed about that. He's like, I'm not even
that
thinking
was,
about that.
that was just kind of that was just not relevant for me at all.
No, but all right, Mackie. Here's another thing that might sway your opinion of Fields being in the game. So if you're a game time decision last week, and then you get in limited practice starting on a Wednesday, so then you have Thursday and Friday to practice, even if it's limited, then you're a go. But at the same time, it's an AC joint injury, and we know he likes to get stuff moving with his feet. So
At the same time, Bears are 3-9 and have nothing to play for. Your only thing you're playing for is a higher draft pick. So why are you gonna risk your number one quarterback, your franchise quarterback? Also, on the other side of the ball, who's playing, Jordan Love or Aaron Rodgers? So this game has 1,000 question marks right now. That's not confirmed, I don't think.
he said he's playing. I would trust him.
And
Well, let me look
even
into
so,
that.
even so, it takes one bad hit to his stomach again, and all you got, and here comes Jordan Love, and it's just a lot of game. It's a game with a lot of question marks. So I don't really know what to say in this game right now. I mean, I guess with every question in the air, I'm loving the Packers because the Bears are just a brutal organization without Justin Fields. But I mean, there's so many question marks in this game right now. Ace, what do you got to say?
So I just read the reports. So Rodgers said he's good to go and he got good results back from his test, and LaFleur said the same thing. And they said that it was a plan, did not participate in practice today. I mean, he's been in the league forever. He doesn't need to practice. But at the same time, I think he's more likely to play than Fields, but I think we're going to see both of them. I really do. But the injury thing, like you said, one bad hit, one miscomfort, and these are two important guys with a lot of money tied to their names that they're right out of the game. And these two teams really aren't playing for much, but we have to think if Aaron Rodgers is a go, he's going to light up that Bears defense, right?
Yeah, I mean, it can go both. If Justin Fields plays, he can light up that Packers defense as well. But I just really like the Packers points here. I just think that, yeah, I mean, Packers have been giving up points too. It's not like they've been. I know they had a lot of hype coming into the season. And obviously, that whole Packers team had a lot of hype coming into the season. But they both the offense and the defense have not played up to their potential. And this team just really isn't playing for much right now. I think a divisional game like this, both teams could just be airing it out. Could be more of a high-scoring game if everyone's healthy. But I definitely do lean Packers here with all the question marks on the Bears side of the field. Obviously, I think they're more detrimental to the team than Aaron Rodgers being healthy is.
Yeah, after all this debate about injuries and stuff, I think this should tell us and our listeners one thing. I don't think any of us are going to see this game on their card. I think this is a big stay-away game. Way too many question marks throughout the lineup. The Packers have been riddled with injuries on both sides of the ball throughout the year. I've touched on Rashawn Gary. I think he's one of the best defensive players in the league. He's out. So it's just too many question marks for me. I'm staying away. Yeah, Huff. Oh, one thing I do want to bring up about this game. Huff, great hit last week with that plus 290 on Christian Watson. I can't remember the exact stat, but there was something saying he has more touchdowns than there's a list of guys. Just surprised to see him coming on so strong. I think Justin Jefferson was on that list and some other notable wide receivers. So, great hit by you.
Mackey had that too, but
yeah, I hit that too.
The thing with Christian Watson, my logic behind that one, I'm just like Rodgers. I know he has Randall Cobb, and he went to Cobb early in that game, and that was obviously a high-scoring game. So Cobb and Jones already got in. I even think Lazard had already gotten in. I'm like, Jesus Christ, can we just fucking get Christian Watson on the field? And he throws 40-yard bombs to him, 30-yard in the red zone. Doesn't matter. He's showing that he's not scared to use this kid, and he's really liking what he's been able to do. That plus 290, it's worth it. That was worth it.
You guys were so high. If you remember, like halfway through the season, you guys were so high on Romeo Dobbs. It was like, don't forget about Christian Watson. He's good. He's just hurt, and then he's came back and he's turned up. And so, yeah, plus 290 on that. Nuts.
I just think Rodgers has the ability to make any receiver look good, kind of like Brady with that Scotty Miller dude. Like he makes him look like a, you know what I mean, elite receiver at sometimes, and it's like, all right, calm yourself down. Let's remember who's throwing the ball. And
yeah, kind of like
struggled this year.
Yeah, it's kind of like Brady with Julian Edelman too.
I'm not even commenting on that nonsense. Stick to your no rings in your lifetime. Guy watches the Dallas Cowboys.
God,
I'm wearing a Cowboys hat.
Look, he's hurt. He's mad I said that.
Do you remember when Tony Romo fumbled that field goal snap and then they lost the game?
Yeah, I have a lifetime of pain for being fans. Right, I get it.
Do you remember when Des Bryant caught it? Oh, me either. All right, Huff, what were you saying?
Des did catch it.
I was kind of going to set up Mackie for another chirp at you, actually. I was going to say. No.
I'm here for it.
I was going to say.
I love how Mackie's talking up Justin Fields now. That's the boy, isn't it, Mackie?
I don't talk up Justin Fields. He's a running back. He just has more potential than I thought he did.
He's good. You can say it.
Mackie, Julian Edelman, or Cole Beasley.
Cole Beasley, I'm taking him. I'm taking him any day.
Yeah, because Cole Beasley's a fringe Hall of Famer.
Yo, if you want to go look at their stats, Cole Beasley literally has better stats than him.
I will.
But Wes Welker,
you know what outnumbers stats though?
What?
Super Bowl rings. That's all it comes down to it.
Yeah, I wish Cole Beasley played with Tom Brady. That would have been pretty cool.
What
are you doing? Looking up stats?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's get into
Go to the
this
references. Go to the NFL
Rams
references. Game. Promise you, they're very similar. You go to Wes Welker's though. Wes Welker blows them both out the water.
Yeah, I told you Wes Welker's really good.
The only thing different between Julian Edelman and Cole Beasley is accolades, and that's because Julian Edelman got to play with Tom Brady.
Oh, I look up stats. Guess what I get? This season's stats. It's like, oh, good. Cole Beasley had 2 catches, and Edelman had none. Thank you.
I'm surprised you didn't. Edelman had none. Yeah, let's go. Cole Beasley on top. He's on top off
You
rip.
can tell Julian Edelman's better than Cole Beasley because Julian Edelman's a personality on TV and Cole Beasley's nowhere to be found. I think he's an anti-vaxxer, so settle down.
He's a family man. Wouldn't you rather be a family man?
I think Cole Beasley should have cut his hair a long time ago.
Julian
and
Edelman
would have picked him up.
Julian Edelman's is worried about throwing $100,000 in the Vikings this week.
Julian Edelman's the boy, is what you're saying.
Yeah, he's a DGen just like us.
I can't find this stat. We'll bring it up next week or something.
Oh,
you
you can't find him. All right, we'll find him next week.
You can bring it up if you want. I can't find it. I got this year's stats. That's so irrelevant.
All right, we'll find him later.
Thank
Let's
you.
move on with the segment.
Thank you, Google.
We got four 4
you
o'clock
go.
games this week. The first one up is the Seattle Seahawks at the Los Angeles Rams. The Seahawks are the favorite here at 7.5 points. Their money line sitting at minus 355, and the over/under sitting at 41.5. No trends from me here. We're going to send it over to Ace to get us going on this first 4 o'clock matchup. What do we think, buddy?
Before we get into our takes on this game, I just want to ask you guys, Jesse, you can hop on this too. Do you guys think the Seahawks are a good team?
There's so many. Is the NFC
The short
I don't
answer,
think the
yes or
NFC
no. Short answer, yes or no.
I'd say
No.
No.
Yeah, no, me.
I think Geno Smith is a good quarterback.
They're
I'm
hot
not
right
saying
now.
no, but I'm not saying yeah.
They're cold right now. They were hot. They
Well,
were
right.
hot to start
Sorry.
the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you remember going back to the beginning of the year too, I think Mackie might have backed me on this. We thought that the Seahawks is one of the worst rosters. I can't believe they won so many games. That defense. I know they have those rookies that are coming out of nowhere and turning into good players, but I think the Seahawks team is terrible, and it sucks that the Rams are so battered by injuries because this would be a get-right game for the Rams right here if they had everybody in their lineup, but you're without Cooper Kupp. You're without Matt Stafford. You're without a running back. They have Kyron Williams leading the way. I don't know what Cam Akers did. Maybe he requested a trade, but before that even, I don't know what he did to get in the doghouse. I see no way that this team wins the game. I do really like the under in this game, which is surprising because I've loved the over in Seahawks games all year. What's that number sitting at, Jesse?
41.5.
Yeah, I like the under here a lot. I don't see how the who's even running the quarterback for the is it Hundley? No, what's his name? The quarterback for the Rams.
Perkins,
Number 16.
Bryce Perkins.
Yeah,
That's all I know him for as.
yeah, me too. Somebody's playing quarterback, but I don't think they put many points on the board.
Bryce
Isn't that
Perkins.
Rams
Guy's
defense?
name?
Bryce
Can you guys
Perkins.
hear me? Bryce Perkins.
Bryce Perkins. All right. Yeah.
That's
Huff,
not
where'd
who
he
I
go
was
to
thinking
school?
of, I don't think.
I have no idea
Huff,
where he went to school. I just know his name.
He's not. He's been in the league what? 3 years?
I'll look.
Can you give me a quick update on that? But yeah, more to my point for the under. I think that Rams defense. I know they're injured on offense. We all know that. The whole world knows that, and they've thrown in the towel for the season. But you still have Aaron Donald. You still have Jalen Ramsey, right?
Aaron Donald is
He went
out
to
this
U-
week.
he went to
Oh, good.
UVA. He went to UVA, and Arizona State.
Yeah, Aaron Donald is out this week, sitting out his first game since 2017. So this team is just
Throwing in the
really
towel.
throwing in the towel. Yeah.
And they don't even have a pick to tank for.
Seahawks first half minus 3.5. Love it.
41.5 is a lot for this game. To me, at least.
I lean Seattle. I mean, I just think that, dude, this Rams team is the
Seahawks-
worst team in the league at this point.
Seahawks first half minus 4.
Yeah, I lean Seahawks for sure.
The Rams are the worst team in the league, I think, at this point. I think the Texans would beat them. Without Aaron Donald, without Cooper Kupp, without Matt Stafford, who do you have?
Jalen Ramsey.
I
What's Jalen Ramsey? Dude, I don't know. Jalen Ramsey is already overrated in my opinion.
Bobby.
Where are we at?
Thank you, babe. Tell your parents this. Thank you.
Wrapping up Seahawks Rams.
Am I good
I
to
don't
move
know.
forward
I
to the next
don't-
one?
Yeah, I don't really have.
Yeah,
much
that
to say
game's
about this.
terrible. That's the worst game of all time.
Let's talk about probably the best game of the week. Maybe the best game of the week.
You guys said it. It's going to be a pretty rough game there, Seahawks, Rams. So let's move forward. Next 4 o'clock matchup is the Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins at the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers are the favorite here at 3.5 points. Their money line sitting at minus 205 and the over-under sitting at 46.5. The trends I got here that the 49ers are 7-2-1 against the spread in their last 10 games against the Dolphins, as well as 8-1 against the spread straight up and 7-2 against the spread in their last 9 games at home. The Dolphins are 8-3 straight up in their last 11 non-conference games. What do we think's going to happen here? Huff, let's send it over to you. Dolphins and 49ers.
Yeah, this is like Mackie said, this is a really good game. You have a really high flying, I think 8-3 Dolphins team. Is that what they are?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this Dolphins team, obviously, their offense is very explosive in what they've been able to do through the first half of the season. This Niners defense has been pretty up to standard. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens when the Miami offense is on the field and San Fran defense. Last week they held New Orleans, was it, to no points?
Yeah. 13-0.
Yeah, 13-0. Yeah. So, I mean, this Niners team is rolling right now. This is a game, I don't necessarily have a side right now. I don't really like anything specific. But the over-under, I actually think it'll be a high-scoring game. I think this is a big game. I think McCaffrey gets in, maybe Debo. I think the 49ers offense is able to do enough. Yeah, true. I think that this is a spot where the 49ers offense is able to do enough to stay in the game. As far as, I guess, stay in the game, I'd like the Dolphins getting them points, but I don't know. I'm going to have to see how I like this one going up until Sunday.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the other side of you in terms of, you said you think it's going to be a high-scoring game. This Niners team is just fully came full circle, and it's just really, it looks really good all around. They haven't given up a point in the fourth quarter in 5 weeks since they got blown out by Kansas City in the fourth quarter. They lost 44-24, something like that. They have not given up a fourth quarter point since then. So, I mean, this team just has all the confidence in the world. Obviously, they got Christian McCaffrey, made it a lot better. Like Ace said, he might be out this week, but even if he's out, I mean, you got Elijah Mitchell in that backfield. He's still getting heavy reps, and he's still playing very good football. He had that injury at the beginning of the season, which led them to get Christian McCaffrey, but they're working both those running backs really well. Niners are 4-1 on their home field this season. They're just playing really good football. Jimmy Garoppolo looks like one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Obviously, he wasn't even supposed to play coming into the season. He had Trey Lance. Trey Lance gets hurt week 1 or week 2, whatever it was, and Jimmy Garoppolo has led this team to a 7-4 record and probably the best team in the NFC right now. So, Dolphins are good. I really like what they have going on there. I just don't think that this is a game where they're going to be able to. Their defense is just not going to be able to keep up, and I mean that offense obviously has everything going for them. I just think that they kind of run into a brick wall here. They've had it pretty easy in the past. You got Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill just running all over these defenses. This is probably the best defense that they've played up to this point. Other than that, I mean, you have Buffalo, but it's a divisional matchup. It's a little bit different of a situation. So, they might run into a little bit of a brick wall here. So I like the Niners to win this game, and I like the under as well.
Yeah, Mackie, you brought up some good points there. One thing I wanted to touch on, you said Jimmy Garoppolo looking like one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Honestly, shouldn't come as too much of a surprise because we've talked on this really last week, how bad the quarterback play is in the NFL this season as a whole overall.
Yeah, but for just for a guy that was coming into the season not even supposed to be playing football. Honestly,
yeah, as a backup quarterback.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah, no, he's got the ability and knowledge to be a good quarterback in this league. But another interesting thing to look at is the new head coach of the Miami Dolphins facing his former team. He comes out of that Shanahan tree. He was the offensive coordinator for this team last year. And let's think about it. A lot of the success that the Dolphins have had this year, being one of the top teams in the league, has come off of his offensive scheming and his play calling. I'd like to think that the 49ers have a good read on what he's going to do this week. I think they match up very well with him on defense. I think that they have the knowledge of what to do against them. And you said it earlier, the Dolphins are a new team. Niners looking like one of the best teams in the league. The Niners have been doing this for years now, right? They've been doing this since they went to that Super Bowl. A lot of veterans on this team, a lot of experience. I love the Niners in this spot. I don't think that the Dolphins are going to have a good day. I think Tua's going to throw a pick or two. See a lot of sacks. They're not going to be able to run the ball at all, even though they don't generally. I love I love the Niners in this spot this week. I might be carding that or a prop or two out of this game. Normally I'm high on the Dolphins too and Tyreek Hill, but I just think what's the name? Mike McDaniels, right? The coach for the Dolphins. Mike McDaniel. Yeah, if you saw his interviews coming this week, he wasn't as optimistic as he normally is. He's a little bit nervous about Nick Bosa. He's a little bit nervous about some of the other guys on that side of the ball. And like I said earlier, I really want to touch on that. He was the former coach for them, so a lot of people haven't been able to figure out his scheme all year, but maybe his former coaching staff does. So give me the Niners this week to rule the Dolphins, honestly.
Good stuff out of that 4 o'clock matchup. Our third matchup in the 4 o'clock slate is the Los Angeles Chargers at the Las Vegas Raiders. The Chargers are the favorite in this matchup at 1.5 points. Their money line sitting at minus 126, and the over-under sitting at 50.5. No trends from me out of this West Coast matchup, but what do we think's happening in Vegas? Ace, you want to roll on this one first?
Yeah, I've really been, I said this at the beginning of the pod, but I was high on the Raiders at the beginning of the year. Really been hitting on them the last 2 weeks, and they're underdogs yet again. Such a great roster. The only reason they're underdogs, I think, is because of their season and their record as a whole. But playing so well lately, and the amount of talent they have on that side of the ball against a banged-up Chargers team that finds ways to lose games, give me the Raiders money line this week. I love that. I think this team, I think they still finish above 500 after they started, 1-5 maybe? So it'll be interesting to see. Josh Jacobs having a career year, another guy that's on his contract year, looking to exploit that. Last week, I think he's been like the leading fantasy scorer, leading rusher. He's putting up touchdowns, winning games on the back of himself. Then you still have Devontae Adams and a few other guys on that team. So give me the Raiders in the spot money line. Might even card this in the 4 o'clock slate. What do you guys got?
I'm right there with you. I like the Raiders. Not too much else to say. I like what they've been doing lately. Like you said, you've had them the past couple of weeks. I think it's a good spot for them at home. Divisional matchup, getting points. I'll take it's plus 1.5. I'll probably just take the money line, but I like the Raiders.
Yeah, it's a divisional matchup, but you like the home team, especially in a game where it's such a close line. Raiders do look a lot better. Obviously, you got that nice win under their belt last week. Josh Jacobs 8. He had that breakout run in overtime, obviously winning the game. Chargers squeaking one out against the Cardinals. Probably really shouldn't have won that game.
Chargers are getting healthy. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are back.
Yeah, they're getting a little healthier. I just don't think that they're fully there yet. I still think they're because I think this Chargers team fully healthy is probably a top 5 team in the league, and they're obviously still not playing like it's so. I don't know. I like the Raiders in a divisional matchup here. What?
Do you remember the debate we had? Was it last week or 2 weeks ago that you said this was a bad team? They stink, the Chargers. Yada,
I said
yada.
fully healthy. Dude, what are you talking about?
You bet them that weekend too. Bet them that weekend
and I won.
Because they're a good team.
Wait, what weekend was that? It was a divisional matchup
Against the Chiefs.
Yeah, divisional matchup. It's a completely different ball game. Listen, bro. Beginning of the season, I had the Chiefs going 13-4. That's an injured team. They're not good injured. Like you're not.
So are the Chargers a good team or not a good team? Let me hear you say it.
Right now, like injured or not injured?
Are the Chargers a good team or are they a bad team?
They're not a good team, no. Dude, what are you? They just literally squeaked one out by the skin of their teeth against the Cardinals. One of the worst teams out.
They don't ask how. They do not ask how.
You're just making me seem like I'm contradicting myself, and I'm not really contradicting myself at all. I said at the beginning of the season,
who do you like this week, though?
I just said the Raiders before you even started all this.
No, I'm just saying that. I had to bring it up. You chirped me on the podcast, and then you bet them that weekend.
Just because, dude, you bet on bad teams all the time. Like, you make it seem like I'm contradicting myself. I'm not contradicting myself at all.
Just had to bring it up.
You take a team with a spread. You know the spread makes the game a little even, right? It's the point of a spread.
I hear you. I still think they're a good team, but I just wanted to see your thought on it.
Well, nothing's really changed.
This will be a good one for sure, though. I like the Raiders. Chargers are a good team, though, so it's not going to be an easy game. At least, but we'll see.
Going to be an interesting 4 o'clock matchup there. Curious to see what Ace and Mackie decide on that one. And our last 4 o'clock matchup is the Kansas City Chiefs at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Chiefs are the favorite here at 2.5 points. Their money line sitting at minus 132 and the total at 52.5. Bunch of trends for this game from me. The Chiefs are 20-2 straight up in their last 22 games played in December. The Bengals are 16-3 against the spread in their past 19 games. The Chiefs are 3-8 straight up in their past 11 games against the Bengals. Chiefs are 1-7 against the spread in their last 8 conference games, and the Bengals are 7-1 against the spread in their last 8 home games. Lots of trends there, lots of varying opinions. Let's send it over to Ace. Start us off on this last 4 o'clock matchup.
Yeah, Mackie, going off of our last conversation, I think we can both agree these are two very good teams here. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
All right, thank you. But I think we kind of jumped the gun dubbing the Titans-Eagles game of the week here. This really might be the game of the week, especially after that. It's the first matchup they've had since that AFC Championship game where Burrow kind of stole the show from Patrick Mahomes in his own stadium. So I'm looking at Mahomes to come out and really rule this week. I love the over in this game. Two of my favorite quarterbacks in the league. I think we went over this when we were naming top 5 quarterbacks in the league. Two of the best quarterbacks out there with weak secondaries. I know the Bengals have been playing pretty decent, but I love the Chiefs in this spot. What do you guys got to say about this one?
Yeah, there's obviously a lot going into this game because what we saw last year, Bengals beat them week 17. I think we beat them late in the season, and then you beat them in the playoffs. So, Joey B against the Chiefs. Obviously, Pat Mahomes wants to beat him. This should be a really good game. I know it's in Cincinnati, correct?
Correct.
So, you give a bit of an edge to Cincinnati, but I really like this. I mean, you can't bet against this Chiefs team. They're 9-2. Pat Mahomes is rolling right now. They don't lose games in November. This game's technically in December, but this team is just rolling right now. You can't really bet against them. I like the Chiefs to get it done. I just don't think the Bengals are really all there this year. Obviously, they're sitting at 7-4. Their offense has shown they've been able to get it done. Jamar Chase is back this week. I just think they're too up and down to take them against a team that's playing as good as the Chiefs are right now. How good Pat Mahomes is playing right now. The team's just him and Kelsey right now are just better than even they've ever been before, and that's saying a lot. So this team's really rolling right now, and I really like them to get the job done in a really good game.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think the Chiefs are the play here. I like them. I don't know if I'm locked in on either side necessarily. I'm definitely leaning on the Chiefs. But like you said, there's a lot of stuff going into this game. This rematch from last year, these teams saw each other twice, so you got to think Kansas City gets their payback here. But it's an interesting spot. These teams could see each other in the playoffs, and I think the Chiefs would wipe them in the playoffs, just like I thought last year. So I don't know. The Bengals are a very pesky team that I don't necessarily like to bet against. So I don't know if I'll be carding anything here, but I'm definitely leaning Chiefs. But definitely don't want to wait up till.
I agree with you, Huff, there. I don't know if I'm carding anything from this. It's going to be a fun one to watch. Maybe it's the over, though, really, with the shootout between these two. But I don't know if you guys saw that post I just shared with you, but it was basically Justin Reed calling out the whole Bengals receiving corps, saying everybody's still getting locked up. And then Jamar
Chase said?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Jamar Chase goes, let's put some money on it big time. So I think it's going to be...
all right, Calvin Ridley, calm down.
Everybody get your popcorn. Yeah, literally. That's a good one. Everybody get your popcorn out. This is going to be one of the most exciting matchups to watch of the year, I think. I think this could be a game of the year candidate, just from the outside perspective. What's the over on that again? Somebody have that number?
52 and a half.
52 and a half. Yeah, that's what I guess. Love that over, though. I think they both put up 3 touchdowns from both quarterbacks, so I think it'll be fun.
I'd do that over. I could be talked into that over.
But the Bengals, you're right. They're a pesky team, and I've had them a lot on our card throughout the year, and they've been cashing in for me. So it's tough.
I like that they're home in this spot. That's why I don't necessarily love the Chiefs.
But it's Patrick, so I can't bet against.
Exactly.
That's why I like
exactly.
I love the
over. I would do the over. That'd be a fun bet.
All right. Is this the game of the week, or are we sticking with Titans Eagles?
I don't know.
What about
this is the 4 o'clock game?
What about Miami,
week.
San Francisco?
Yeah, this is a good slate. Remember last week, or was it 2 weeks ago?
Weeks.
You remember a couple of weeks ago when we were saying this is like the worst slate we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like week 10.
Yeah. Schedule makers are really coming back to us and giving us some fun ones to watch, and all in the 4 o'clock slate. So, it'll be some high flying shootouts.
Big scoring game out of that final 4 o'clock matchup. So let's move forward to the Sunday primetime game. Indianapolis Colts at the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys being the favorite in this matchup at 10.5 points. The money line sitting at minus 550 and the over-under sitting at 43.5. The trends I got here are that the Cowboys are 7-0 against the spread in their last 7 games played in December. And the Colts are 21-8-1 against the spread in their last 30 non-conference games. Mackie, your Cowboys. I think they can do it against the Colts, but 10.5 is pretty hefty. Highest spread of the week. Highest spread of the week. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the way that this team is playing, they should definitely be able to get it done against this Colts team. Really, they didn't look at the better team last week when they were playing the Steelers, and I just think Dallas is miles ahead of the Steelers. So they don't really have anything going for them. They're sitting at 4-7-1. Beginning of the season, they had the the division eyed up. They thought they had a good shot at that. Obviously, Tennessee ran away with that. Matt Ryan's not playing good football. They've been dealing with injuries. Did DeForest Buckner play on Monday?
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean he looks like he's healthy. I know he was questionable, but I really think Dallas can cover 11-point spread here. I don't really see how the Colts score points, and Dallas offense is more than enough for this Colts defense right now. They're just really rolling right now. Everything's really connecting. Only thing, like, Dak usually likes to start slow on primetime games. I don't know what it is about him, but he just always does. So maybe that's the only thing I can see them holding back from minus 11. But I really do think they get it done here.
I'm right there with you. It's interesting you added that little ending point. I was gonna say I like the Cowboys maybe first half spread here. See what that's at. I've taken that a couple of times, but I've taken the Cowboys with these bigger spreads. I think. Yeah, I was gonna say. I think the one time I had 9.5, I got a -4 first half. It was hype.
I mean, they could be up 10-0 at half in this game very easily.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a very slow first half.
I like the Cowboys. I'm looking at that. I'll definitely be looking at that first half. First half under too, maybe.
I wore this hat for a reason. The Cowboys are gonna roll this week. Remember what they did to the Vikings a few weeks ago? I think it's gonna be a very similar story. I think Matt Ryan even gets pulled in this game. He was begging to get pulled against the Steelers, trying to throw 2 interceptions on the first 2 plays. Maybe I hit that again in the prime time, that Matt Ryan interception prop, because he loves throwing the ball to the other team. They're always open, which is nice. And Trayvon Diggs is a ball hawk, so I love the Cowboys to clamp this week. I think they're one of the best teams in the NFL. One of the best defenses, top 3, top 5 for sure. So I don't understand how much is going to go well for the Colts. I do think it'll be a tougher day of sledding for Zeke and Pollard. For Zeke, it's not Thanksgiving, so there's no turkey leg to get after the game. For Pollard, he's running up against a formidable defense in Indianapolis. So I think Dak has a big game through the air. Over 1.5 touchdowns should be a lock. I think CeeDee Lamb's due for one after getting snubbed out of one last week. But, yeah, I love the Cowboys. Probably by that 0.5 point for -10 here. And if you want to throw them into a teaser with something you loved earlier in the day, now is the time.
I think it's going to be a big game there Sunday night. I'm excited to see what the Cowboys can do. And the final game on our slate, the Monday night primetime game, the New Orleans Saints at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs are the favorite here at 3.5 points. Their money line sitting at -184, and the over-under sitting at 40.5. Good amount of trends for this one as well. The Saints are 0-5 against the spread this season on the road. Saints are 10-3 straight up in their last 13 games at Tampa Bay. Saints are 3-10 against the spread in their last 13 games as the underdog. The Bucs are 1-5-1 against the spread in their last 7 at home, and 1-7-1 against the spread in their last 9 as a favorite. So nothing really giving too many props to either team. So what do we think here, Huff?
Monday Night Football, we usually get a closer game. I think too many people are on this narrative that the Saints have Tom Brady's number. The Bucs are at home here. The Bucs are starting to roll. I really like what they're doing here. It's going to be all the Bucs. I like the Bucs -3.5. This Saints team hasn't done anything over the past couple of weeks. Kamara looks not like anything like himself. Andy Dalton's still playing quarterback. Get him out of there. Give me some Jameis Winston. Even a Taysom Hill game. Like, come on, shake up this offense. Something. This team looks so bad. I love the Bucks here. Bucks minus 3.5.
The Bucks have burnt me so much this year. You know how many times I've carded them minus 2.5, minus 3. You know I'm the biggest Brady believer of us all for sure. Get me those 6 rings that Mackey does not have. Huff, Jesse, it's a good club to be in. But yeah, I think that I'm definitely buying that half a point and throwing that in my card on Monday Night Football. Maybe I do that sooner rather than later though, because I feel like there's gonna be. Huff, you might be right. Anybody have the money splits on this game?
It's 65 on New Orleans. That's why I said I think too many people are buying this narrative that the Saints have his number.
Yeah, but that was when they had Drew Brees and stuff. You know, like Andy Dalton's terrible. He's terrible. He put up 0 against the Niners. And how much? I know the Niners are one of the best defenses in the NFL, but how much further off are the Bucks? Not much, right?
I'm looking even past Andy Dalton, dude. Kamara looks like a shell of. Doesn't even look like a shell of himself. Like he looks terrible.
Yeah, they use him incorrectly, in my opinion. Literally the only valuable piece of offense they have is Chris Olave, and he's a rookie, so you can't expect too much. In Tampa Bay, too. Surprised the spread isn't 5.5, 7.5, really. I love that. I'm surprised. I mean, I'm going to wait and see what Mackey says, but this could end up being another team play if we all really like that. But I love the Bucks minus 3 here for Brady to get back and control that division. He's got to get back to 500 sooner or later.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely on the Bucks here. I don't see how you could bet on New Orleans, especially after seeing him last week. I mean, they even ended up taking Andy Dalton out and put Taysom Hill behind the center because, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw. I saw a clip on Twitter. It was just he went to go hit Chris Olave on a check down and literally just threw it into the dirt, and Olave just threw his hands up in the air and was like, "Get this guy out of here." I mean,
how does he have a job?
At this point, I don't know, and because he shows
he's a nice guy and he gets the job done.
And
I love him as a backup. I love him as a backup, but how is he?
Yeah,
so
he can't. He can't start, and the Saints just don't really have anything going for them. They're basically out of contention for that. Actually, I guess if they win this game, they're not really out of contention for that division. But I just don't see them. They don't have anything going for them right now.
This Saints team is the definition of they have nothing going for them, and they're losing games, and they don't even have their first round draft pick because it got sent to Philly. So if the Saints finish with a top 5 pick, the Eagles have a top 5 pick.
That's the team.
The Saints team has nothing.
That's
going
great.
for them.
All these teams that are in the gutter don't even have their top.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see. This is a pretty shitty game in my opinion. But
Steelers are loading up picks.
I do think Tom Brady does enough to even cover a 3.5 point spread. I think you'll see him move up to 4, maybe even 4.5.
Kings put Cal Peterson on waivers.
Right after that game last night.
He allowed 4 goals on 16 shots.
He came in cold though, Mackey. You know that. You're a goalie.
Yeah, but dude,
you want to come in cold when a team's
coming in cold when the other goalie gets hurt. Yeah, it's a little tough. But when the other goalie's shit in the bed, you don't really have much to lose at that point. You can't really blame that on.
He was in the first year of a 3-year, $15 million extension. They put him on waivers this morning.
Wow.
Dude, you should have seen some of the goals he was giving up last night. I mean, they're brutal.
4 on 16.
Ace, you see the one that popped up in the air?
No, was that in the second or the third?
Second, he literally right off his blocker, straight up in the air. The guy's looking like a. He had no idea where he was, and just dropped.
You know
right
what it was?
him right in the back of the net.
I'll have to look at it. Or if you see the clip, send me it. It was definitely when I was chasing those live overs.
Yeah, probably. I'll send you both the bad ones. They're really bad, but that's funny.
But to close up this, real quick, to close up this Monday night game though, Mackie, like you said, this line is going to jump up to 4 or 5. So if you're going to take the Bucks, maybe now is the time before that line gets a little out of hand.
Great stuff out of that Monday night game. Great stuff across the board. Great episode tonight. Nothing else from me. I think that's going to wrap it up this week, boys. What else you got? Anything?
Nothing else coming from me. Thanks for listening. See you guys next week. Let's have a good week. Week 13. Let's go.
Yeah,
Huff,
agreed.
you said it right.
That's all I gotta say.
Definitely
like
check
I said
out
earlier.
I know we're gonna say the same thing. Check out the socials here.
College
We got
football,
plays coming at you. I know. Well, Huff's got the college football unlocked. Mackey's got a bunch of college basketball. It's really getting into the big swing of that. I know a lot of people don't pay too much attention till after the new year, but Mackey's been really hot there. And like we said, our NHL and NBA card have been really well, and I know a lot of you like tailing those picks, so definitely right along.
We look forward to hosting a podcast for you each and every week, so thank you for listening each and every week. That's all we got.
Subscribe, like, and subscribe.
That's all we got. Thank you. See you next week.
I took the walk. Pull it.
And that's going to do it for us on this episode of Hit the Books. Thank you to everyone who tunes in each and every week. Without you, we wouldn't be able to do what we do here, so please like, share, and subscribe wherever you can. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for our plays each and every night in the NHL, NFL, MLB, NBA, college basketball, and college football. Thank you again, and see you next week.